before we boot this up and I start the timer, today we're playing Game of Thrones Telltale. I have played one episode of a Telltale Walking Dead game, so this is basically my first Telltale game. I know some of the Telltale memes, like, you know, character will remember this, that sort of thing. I have read all of the Song of Ice and Fire books, and I have watched the entire TV series. As of this recording, if you're watching this in the future on YouTube, Winds of Winter is never being released, and the final season of Game of Thrones is expected next spring. So we'll be talking about everything in the penultimate season of the show and all the books up through Dance with Dragons. Maybe sometime in 2058, Cyborg George R. R. Martin will have actually finished the books. Normally on my channel, we try to limit spoilers for external stuff like TV shows and movies, in case people in chat haven't seen them before. But because this is a Game of Thrones focused game, we are welcome to discuss anything from the show or the books, except for stuff that is like leaked from the final season. I don't think we really have any leaks from Winds of Winter. That would be really great if we knew anything about it, other than that it's never coming out. There are some people in chat who have not watched or read Game of Thrones. So I think this game came out, 2014? 4 years ago? So that's like around the end of Storm of Swords? Thank you, Aki. Appreciate that. Awesome.
You're super awesome. Thanks. Appreciate that.
It's really easy for my go live pattern to get interrupted if something else is going on. I'll blame Darkstar for the sub button missing problem. I think that's everything. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll try to contain spoilers to what's actively going on in the game, but feel free to bring up stuff that's coming up later on. We'll let the train finish, then we'll boot it here. Now's the time to do it, right?
You're super awesome. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Please let me know if you guys can hear game audio right now, too. Capture card's been on a bit of a jank run lately. Yes, I have not played Minecraft Story Mode. Is Minecraft Story Mode any good? There are dragons, games, and thrones. I was explaining before stream that my wife always sings along with her show. Whenever we watch a new episode, she goes, Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones. Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones. Mostly. Right. Yeah, I don't think we're meant to recognize any of these characters. I think they're all invented. Play. Begin episode 1. I'm actually curious who all they got from the cast. Probably nobody to voice the characters. I don't even know where this is set in the book series. Okay, House Forrester have been loyal bannermen to House Stark. In the darkest regions of the Wolfswood, they harvest the rare ironwood trees. The North has been ripped apart by war, and rival houses seek to claim Forrester ironwood for themselves. Fate of House Forrester hangs in the balance. I know, right, Yuko? So I think Forrester may have been referenced in random passing. Since this is a very dialogue-focused game, I'll likely be muting frequently and just typing in chat, so if you're watching in the future on YouTube, watch for my stuff in chat.
The great Jaime Lannister, Kingslayer, Oathbreaker, brought to his knees by the men of the North.
And set free by the women. You'd think he'd done it himself the way he tells it. Lord Forrester's sword won't clean itself, you know. Make sure it's spotless this time. Lord Forrester won't be happy with blood and brains all over it. Now that is a proper sword.
I'll have
Pretty
one
cool
like it
first
myself
task.
someday.
You'll never have a sword like that. And I say that as a friend. And if we're being honest,
Why not?
you don't give swords like that to pig farmers.
I had a hand in,
Limited
you
time to
know.
make choices. That's cool.
Hand in what? Capturing him.
He was nowhere near the Kingslayer at the Whispering Wood. He was so drunk he barely made it out of his tent. Next he'll tell us he caught Tyrion too.
So what really happened?
Someone caught him, I suppose. Ask any man here and they'll say it was them.
You captured the Kingslayer.
Aye. Well, I had a hand in it.
Aye. A hand round his ankle as 10 others took him down.
See? What did I tell you?
I brought him to his knees.
Lord Forrester.
And not before he dragged you halfway across the battlefield on your face.
You're questioning Norrin's honor.
I'm questioning Norrin's story, which grows more far-fetched every time he tells it.
Get your liege lord some wine. Go on. It's your job.
Right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Gared. I'll do it. Norrin's family has faithfully served House Forrester for centuries. His honor is beyond reproach, and House Tully is forever in his debt.
Tully
I've
is
never
House
seen a field
Stark's.
plowed so well as the day the Kingslayer
Ned Stark
dragged
is
poor
married to
Norrin
Catelyn
across
Tully.
the battlefield.
Tullys are bannermen to, or at least they're allied with the Starks at this point in the
Let
story.
your cup. Tonight we celebrate.
They're their own great house, so they're not really bannermen. But very close allies.
To Robb Stark, the King in the North.
I'm actually super curious if this story will be
We march on
accessible
Casterly
at all
Rock,
to someone
and
that hasn't
House
read the books or
Forrester
watched the
has
show.
been given the greatest honor to lead the Young Wolf's army and ride as the vanguard.
The gods have favored us. Onward to Casterly Rock!
Death to the Lannisters!
The North remembers!
Maybe it's not. Yeah, the North Remembers seems to imply this is immediately after season 1.
Yes, my lord?
I need you to keep an eye
Yeah.
out for Rodrik. As
Well-
his father, I could not be more proud.
Let's see, was it
of the
Clash of
man he's
Kings
become.
then, maybe?
And
Because
a night
Robb
like
starts
this,
marching
men
south
find false courage at the bottom
while
of their
Ned
cups.
is captured,
I'm glad
right?
He were here.
Yes, my
He
lord.
There's also the
discovers
question.
what happens to
What's
Ned
to
on
be
his
done
way
with you?
down.
It's been on my mind for a while now.
What do you mean?
You've served House Forrester well for several years now, but I can't expect you to squire forever. How shall I reward
The North
your-
Remembers seems to suggest that
What can I
bad
offer
shit's
you?
already happened.
You served me well.
To bring honor to House Forrester, my lord.
You have more honor than those who were born to it.
Yeah, I think this is super
Remember those
early
who
Clash of
obeyed
Kings,
doubts
season
when
2.
Your uncle
Then.
put forth your name as my squire. But you've erased those doubts entirely. It would be an honor to see you riding by Rodrik's side in the vanguard tomorrow.
Did they
Not
get
as a
Rodrik
squire,
for this?
but as the equal of any man who serves House Forrester.
That
It's
seems
well
pretty
deserved,
solid.
Gared.
So I'm no longer a squire?
As of tomorrow, no. But for now, keep this between us. We're celebrating tonight, and I wouldn't want the other squires to feel discouraged.
Yes, my lord.
Now go, and find Rodrik if you can.
I will, my lord. Thank you.
Rodrik's the chubby guy with the weird hairstyle. He's like a master at arms, trained
Squire?
most of the Stark kids.
Fetch us more wine.
Can you give me a hand? Come on. Make it up to you.
Yeah, no problem.
I have been a squire longer than you.
So?
I outrank you. You should help me.
I said I would. It may be that this is intended to only make sense to someone that's watched the show, but
It's my luck to end up with Norrin while you serve the Lord. Let him fetch his own wine for once. He's a drunk, a liar, and an arrogant prick.
You'd better watch your tongue, Bowen. It could be much
What
worse.
the fuck do you know about it? Nothing is worse than Norrin.
See, that's where you're lucky. Low expectations.
I'd grown up covered in pig shit, shovel and slop, well, maybe
Yeah,
I'd think
I've been
saddling
nice
his
so
horse was
far.
the greatest honor in the Seven Kingdoms. I suppose this beats pig farming.
Right.
Who doesn't love bacon?
Ah, pig farmers. All I'm saying is, at this
I remember
rate, we'll
Andrea
never
would
be more
always
than
ask
this,
me, like,
which
who
is
the
nothing.
fuck is Kevin
The lowest of the
Lannister?
low. For all I know, we could be squires for life. All in wine around a fucking wedding.
Give it time. You'll get there.
Or easy for you to say. Maybe if my uncle were castellan at House Forrester, I'd feel different.
Who my uncle is has nothing to do with it.
Right.
How much further?
Do the Pillars of Eternity 2
It's
thing.
right over there.
Oh, well, shit. Okay. So it's actually the third book. Of The Red Wedding.
Take your time.
You lot have drunk your share. Good thing Lord Walder's in a generous mood.
I think the show is canon for this, not the book.
Nice night.
Because it wasn't a foreign bride in the book.
It's not often he finds a willing husband for one of his daughters.
That's interesting. It's a cool way to start it.
Don't expect me to carry it for you, Sir Gared. What? What's wrong?
Looks like they got
What's gotten into you?
Reigns of Castamere.
We need to get back. Now.
They're fine, they can wait.
It's like I happen to know what
We
happened.
need to go.
And take the fucking flagon already.
What's wrong with him? Something the matter?
Bowen, we have to go.
You go if you're in such a rush.
We have to warn the others.
Good luck.
That's interesting. Cool. It's a hard decision. Cool. Right. Bowen will remember this. Right. Okay, so I do get QTE inputs, that's good to know. Warn him! So much for warning him. That's not Rodrik. Maybe it's another more different Rodrik. That's fair. I have always been impressed at how willing Gurm was to reuse first names in his setting. It's often like a death sentence for your readers having any idea who the hell is who, but these are a pretty solid set of first names that get a lot of reuse, especially in like the Targaryen family. I don't know what that button was supposed to be. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. It's a cool death scene, at least. This is another more different Rodrik. We saw him a second ago and it didn't look like the Stark's Rodrik. I don't know what that button prompt was, so I might die again to this sequence, we'll see.
Shoot that one!
Oh, I'm supposed to use this with a mouse and keyboard. Screw this controller thing, that's awful. Does not feel good. It wants me to use the right stick to move where that circle is. Crawl forward to safety, okay. I thought that these games were like built for controller and console. Cool. Valar Morghulis says all men must die, which is a pretty good you died screen. Maybe this one originally came out for PC and then they ported it to a controller. That's pretty brutal.
Good fucking riddance.
Well, so much for warning Rodrik. Bowen's just deadzo.
Gared, did you find Rodrik?
He's
Speak up,
gone.
Gared.
He's gone, my lord. There was nothing I could do.
Try the controller again for a little bit, because I feel like the controller is better for conversations.
Speak up, boy.
I had to leave him. I had no other choice.
Find a weapon, quickly.
You will remember that. Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was to grab earlier. Well, shit.
Not afraid, you fucking traitor. Go, my lord, while there's still time.
Curious what's gonna happen to Walder in the books. The most recent season is, like, getting to be cartoonish.
You're wounded, my lord.
I've suffered worse.
It's getting very, like, fan theory and, like, fantasy wish fulfillment-y in the show.
Guard this with your life. Return it to Ironrath, where it belongs. There's no... I'll be damned if I let it fall into the hands of those traitors.
Oh, it might be Valyrian steel.
You have to go.
I won't leave you, my lord.
Can, and you will.
My lord,
By the gods,
He will remember
you
that.
will obey me.
Dies instantly.
Tell your uncle. Tell him. The North Grove must never be lost. Tell no one but him. Do you understand?
So
You
he's
must
gonna be
swear.
a
Tell
prisoner.
only your uncle Duncan.
I swear that I will, my lord.
Hey, it's those foresters. Now go. On your honor, you must do this for your house. Go.
I do like the consequence indicators in the top left. That's neat.
With love, not afraid.
Well, so much for that. He certainly remembered it for like 2 seconds. I was about to say, that could be a false telegraph. Hey, there's the theme. Glad they got it. I would sing Andrea's song, but the way my capture card works, there'd be a delay and it wouldn't be in time. But it goes Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones. Fuck yeah, Thrones. I wonder why they redid this for the game instead of reusing, like, the show's opening is really high quality. Wiener, wiener, wiener. Ramin Djawadi is pretty amazing. He's like one of the first big composers that's been very melody focused in a long time since John Williams. You know, like I like Hans Zimmer and his crazy organs and blaring horns and stuff, but there's no Star Wars-y, Jurassic Park-y melody to glob onto like there is with Game of Thrones motifs and Westworlds. I really like motif-driven scoring. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Like, I've heard that the Game of Thrones theme, like, each of the sub-houses uses different parts of the theme There'll be a section of it that alone is the Stark theme, and then there'll be another part that's played backwards, and that's something they'll use for Essos instead of Westeros. So I can't go back. There was something on the ground I could have inspected, but I missed it. An artist wanted to do it. Yeah. Look at cart. Better not clean the sword, dude.
Cart.
Lord Bolton better give us fucking titles for this. Winter may be coming, but at least still have his bacon.
That's rude. Poor pig.
Move along, boy. There's nothing for you here.
Yep.
I said move on. Unless you want to get fed to the fucking pigs.
I'm going to kill you.
Is that
Good luck,
so?
kid.
You
3
can
versus
try if you
1.
like, and then we'll feed you to the pigs.
Get off my land!
This is Bolton land now, boy. Lord Bolton is the new Warden of the North. I reckon he'd like a proper lordly sword like that.
Maybe it is Valyrian steel.
No.
It's pretty rare, but some random
I'll
houses
that
have
sword,
them.
boy. Fuck you.
That's not going well.
All right. Finish this fucking pig farmer. Pathetic.
Oh, cool.
They are a pig farm.
Cool. I like this save the checkpoints. Convenient. Great swords are pretty hard to use, aren't they? Oh, jeez. Yeah, I can much easier to mash the A button than the Q button with my ring finger. Looks like the QTEs are fairly forgiving. That's nice.
I beg of you. I have a family. They'll never survive without me. I have no quarrel with you. Thank you.
You chose poorly.
Lord Whitehill will see you hang for this. That
Yeah.
much I promise.
About that. At least I killed a guy. Big fan of the Game of Thrones series, and I'm already going around showing mercy. Doesn't it end badly for me?
You survived. Your sister. Oh, she hid. I tried to stop them.
I do like the character art style. I don't know about like the world art as much. I feel like they're not leaning hard enough into being stylized. This game is on the lower end of oh, Ironwrath. That's cool. Is House Forrester an actual house in the books that Telltale is co-opting for this, or did they invent it? Somebody Google that, maybe? It sounds like it could be a Stark house, but there's so many long lists of bannermen, who knows?
Get the Castellan. Tell him his nephew survived.
This is definitely lower on the Metacritic spectrum than what we usually would consider an awesome game. I wanted to play it anyway when Raker nominated it for his slots because I like Game of Thrones. Curious to see what Telltale's doing with it.
They were already dead.
But I wonder if that's just like
Bring the
reviewer
maester.
fatigue
Meet
with
us in
Telltale
the Great
games.
Hall. Quickly!
It exists in the books. Okay.
2 Whitehill soldiers?
And a Bolton. They killed my family. And for what?
Excuse me.
My sister, she was only 8 years old.
This never would have happened with the Starks in power. It's unimaginable. Unacceptable. You have my condolences.
I mean,
Maester.
the Starks were in power when it happened. Maybe they're implying a lot of time passed between.
Blade cut deep, but I should be able to save your leg. Your justice was swift. Some will call it vengeance. No doubt the Whitehills will claim it was murder. It was your family. I can't say I would have done any different than you.
They attacked me. I had no choice but to defend myself.
Of course. And we can't let the Whitehills just walk all over us. These maggots ought to help prevent infection. Hold the wound
Do you like the
open
idea
for
of
me, would you?
exploring the point of view of a commoner? Most of the Game of Thrones series is about. There we go. Let's see. Yuck. Most of the Game of Thrones series is about following nobility.
These are dark days, I fear. To lose the lord of the house and the eldest son through such a despicable act of treachery and betrayal. Greater houses than ours have fallen in times such as this. The late Lord Forrester was a good man. And poor Rodrik. A serious man, but he would have made a good lord. The future of this house is in Lord Ethan's hands now, although he is young and altogether unprepared to lead. Right. This might hurt a bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Hold this
but
for me, will you?
there's a little bit of following commoners in the books, particularly in
Understand
Feast for
from your uncle
Crows.
that Lord Forrester saved your life.
He did.
Rather odd, though, that he chose to save you, his squire, and not his son Rodrik. Not that Rodrik couldn't handle himself. He was as good with a sword as any man I've seen.
He gave me a message to deliver.
A message? About what? What did he tell you?
Get my uncle. I was told only to tell him.
Your uncle? I see. Must be rather important, then. Lady Forrester will be here any moment now. I'd like you to walk for me first, to see if you can put any weight on that leg.
Do you really like
Go
bandage
on.
up a wound with
Don't stop
maggots
now.
in it?
It's
Kind of
better
thought
to let the
maggots
blood
were a
circulate.
wound cleaning thing that you did while you were lying in bed for a while.
The Ironwood Grove.
I know maggots are still used now to clear out necrotic tissue. They're apparently very good at it. Gross as it seems. There is a move slightly faster button, maybe? Does Maester not have
It's
any
a good thing you've
chains?
done, bringing that back to House Forrester. By right, that belongs to Lord Ethan now.
Maybe he has one, I just can't see it.
You seem to be favoring. Keep moving. I need to see you walk.
There's his chain, okay. It's actually a really cool lore thing where maesters are like the
I may
learned
be
scholars of the
mistaken.
setting.
You do seem able to
And
put
they
weight on it.
forge links of their chain, and the metal they use in the link is based on what they studied, so they might forge a copper link for one thing and an iron link for another thing. I love world building shit like that.
Mira. Still in King's Landing, I suppose. Although, I wonder if they'll bring her home. Ryan. Never easy being the fourth-born son. Rodrik. He was our best warrior by far. Lord Forrester. It was an honor to squire for him. Gregor the Good. Asher. Exiled to Essos, unfortunately.
Okay. How many people are exiled to Essos, I wonder?
Forrester. She's always been kind to me. Treated me like I was a Forrester myself.
They've done a pretty good job of nailing Gurm's.
Talia
There's a certain set of phrases he really likes.
Lord Ethan now.
D&D, the show producers, also kind of favor those
No,
phrases
you see
too.
there? You're limping again.
I'm fine, really.
As soon as you start talking about boiled leather and lobstered plates.
Rather cute little creatures, aren't they?
I guess.
Cute.
This might help.
You're me taking this shit, dude? Talk to the maester when you're finished exploring. Okay. Roger.
I'll admit, you do seem better than was to be expected. I believe your leg will be fine. Only time will tell, but... Lady Forrester.
Welcome home, Gared. We're all relieved to know you survived.
Thank you, my lady.
Talia asked to see you.
Gared, I heard what happened. Is it true? Your family...
Yep. They're pretty
Sorry.
zonked.
Me too.
Off to bed now. Hurry on. Gared was just telling me how valiantly Lord Forrester fought to the end, even when all was lost. I'm sure Lady Forrester would like to know.
He loved his family, my lady. He was very proud of Rodrik.
Yet he was unable to save him.
You were with Rodrik, no? I'm sure it was chaos and confusion, but if you can remember anything...
He fought valiantly, my lady.
Of course he did. He was House Forrester's best.
This has been so incredibly difficult for us, especially the children. But
Once in passing and that's it? Perfect.
I was told you were the last to see my husband alive.
So like that's
Yes,
ideal.
my lady.
Did they mention
I know
Iron
it may be
Wrath? Is that a real
difficult to remember,
location?
But if I may ask,
Real.
was there anything he said?
Any last words before he passed? If you can remember.
He asked me to return this to House Forrester. He said this is where it belongs.
Team Forrester and Gilmore Girls.
Thank you, Gared.
Of course, my
There was a
lady.
guy who played Sam on
It's too dangerous,
Supernatural.
especially now.
Now is the time to prove our strength
Rory
I'll be
fucked
sure
him
it's
over.
given to Ethan.
against aggression. Duncan, this was our land. They were our people. Your family.
I share your outrage, Sir Royland. I do. But now is not the time to provoke the Whitehills. Not with Ramsay Snow coming to see us bend the
God.
knee.
The hell with Ramsay,
Ramsay Snow's
that
not in this
bastard.
game.
Garrett, you understand what this means. You killed a Bolton, and Ramsay Snow will want his retribution.
We're the ones that should be demanding retribution.
They killed my family.
And they'll pay for what they've done. That much, I promise. But now is not the time for vengeance.
If not now, when?
We have to be smart.
Iron Wrath
Ramsay
Snow,
Snow
okay.
will be here within the week.
It's a
And
reasonable
what
name.
would you have us do? Nothing.
Ramsay Snow is such a cartoonish villain in the
While they're still
show.
attached to our shoulders.
He's pretty nasty in the
Gareth
books,
has
but
lost as much as anyone else within these walls. Maybe you can talk some sense into your uncle.
Garrett's suffered enough already. You ask too much of the boy.
He deserves to be heard.
My uncle's right. We need to be smart.
Smart. Eddard Stark was smart. And look where that got him. So,
I don't know if the first
what's to
word
be
I'd use to
done?
describe Ned was smart. He certainly wasn't, like, an
Ultimately,
idiot, but...
It will be for Lord Ethan to decide.
He's just a boy who can barely hold a sword. He knows nothing of how to lead men.
He is the lord of this house, and he needs our help. It's bad enough the Boltons would have us bend the knee and swear fealty. But now, this...
He wasn't
will accuse
politically
you of
savvy.
murder, and us
Right.
of protecting you.
The boy was just defending himself.
I'm not faulting him for what he did.
I'd have done the same, as any man would.
It's just the excuse Ramsay Snow
I
would
like that they
need
give you the
put us to
choice to be
torch
quiet
and kill us all.
sometimes.
I'd like to see them try.
I'm afraid it's a risk we cannot take.
I'd like to see them try.
why
You
we
clearly
cannot
haven't watched
stay.
the show.
Cannot stay. Duncan.
But where would I go?
The one place beyond the reach of even House Bolton.
Essos?
You're sending him to the wall.
Oh, shit.
Boy's done nothing wrong.
Not in the eyes of the Boltons. I'm afraid it's the only solution.
I'll do what's best for the house. So I'll go. I'm not afraid.
It's a
I know
reasonable
it doesn't seem fair.
series of
but it is what's
events.
best.
Yeah, going to the wall's pretty shitty.
That settles it then.
Essos might be fun.
You can have my horse, and I'll see you have plenty of food.
So far, I think this
We
game's
haven't
doing a
much
pretty
time.
good job
The
of
White Hills will
fitting
come
into the
looking for
canon
you.
of the show. It's got some characters that feel inspired by without being direct knocks off of the main show characters.
Were it up to me, I'd gladly drive a sword through Lord Whitehill's heart if given a chance.
They need a reason for me to talk to Jon Snow, I
If
think.
God's willing, someday I will. But for now, I have House Forrester to consider first. Lord Forrester would be proud that you're putting the interests of the house ahead of your own. Many of Lord Forrester's best men have volunteered for the wall. His own great uncle was a ranger with the Night's Watch.
I'll do what's best.
That's cool.
Which often isn't what's easiest, but necessary nonetheless.
The world building comment,
waiting
commoners
for the
don't
right
have
moment to tell you.
surnames in this universe, and bastards have
What?
generic surnames.
Lord Forrester asked me to give you a message. He said, the North Grove can never be lost.
Sorry, you caught me by surprise.
He said tell only you.
For good reason. Most don't even know it exists. They think it's just a myth made up by wildlings and fools.
Cool.
And it's better kept that way. I assume you kept your word. You haven't told anyone else, have you?
Nope.
This is important, Gared.
Lady Forrester asked, but I said nothing.
Well done. Lord Forrester was right to put his trust in you. From this day forward, this will be our secret. But soon, I may need your help.
But
I can't say anything more just yet. Just know the North Grove may very well be vital to the future of this house.
Cool. I'm intrigued.
Don't breathe a word of it to anyone at the wall. Become a ranger if you can. It will help.
I'll get right on that. It might make me a steward, though.
Iron from ice.
Iron from ice.
Oh, that's a pretty cool.
Remember, you represent
words.
House Forrester. Your actions at the wall will reflect the honor and dignity of the house.
I'll serve with honor.
I know you will.
So I highly recommend season 1, episode 1 of Game of Thrones, and particularly the first season of the show is really good TV. The first episode manages to handle a lot of characters being introduced, but kind of gets you intrigued by all of them. I watched the first season of the show and was so excited by it that I read all the books before season 2 came out.
Be safe.
It's one of the best, adaptations I've seen of a novel. They actually kind of made the first book kind of boring to read because the show is a very solid adaptation. It cuts the fat. and gets all the important stuff and changes things where things need to be changed. But there's a scene early in the first episode where, maybe it's the second episode, where Peter Dinklage is talking to the Jon Snow character and describing how awful the wall is.
I couldn't find him. Could you?
Alright, so we're playing as a commoner squire,
And if you were smart,
potentially
he
also a
would
noble
reveal
kid.
himself.
I don't like this game anymore. Maybe something happened to him.
Ethan's fine. He's just forgotten this is a game.
You found me! Well done, Ryan.
Yeah, right.
Don't worry. It's just a game, Ryan.
Stupid game. I don't like it.
Is Jon Snow's actor known outside of the show now?
I thought we'd never find you
Kit
again.
Ramsey, has he done a lot
right
else?
here. And I
Elaena
promise,
Headey,
I'm not
Peter
going
Dinklage.
I wish Mira was here. And Asher. And Rodrik.
Maisie
I do
Williams.
too. But Mira's in King's Landing.
All
And
gotten a decent amount of work outside the show.
I don't want her to die too.
Do you know that
perfectly
Grandmaster
safe, I
Pycelle
promise you.
played the villain in
want
Indiana
her to
Jones and the
die
Last
either.
Crusade?
Maester Ortengrin said he got sent to the wall.
Yeah, that's crazy, sir.
I'll miss Gared.
Rose Leslie.
He was nice.
He'll be fine. Gared is smart.
No one will tell me what Gared did,
Right,
but it
Aki.
must have been serious. I heard Duncan and Sir Royland
Lemon
talking.
cakes.
They said someone will come here looking for revenge.
Everyone's worried about you, but I'm not. I know you'll protect us.
Who said they're worried about me?
Kit Harington.
Well, Sir Royland for one. He says you can't fight very well.
What?
And he calls you a milksop.
Sir Royland forgets himself. After all, you are the lord of the house now.
Right.
What does milksop mean?
I don't know, but I know it's not good.
Commoners not having surnames is period accurate.
Ethan,
Interesting.
you should let Sir Royland teach you how to wield a sword, like a man.
What's the history of
He
this
taught
surname
Rodrik and Asher,
in the
and
West,
even
at
showed me
least?
how to fight. Properly, I mean.
A lord should know how to fight.
Schmanza. Yeah. Schmanza.
Do you remember when we were younger? When we all used to play here?
It's also the guy that got exiled to Essos,
Asher.
Shmora.
We'd all be out here for hours.
Yeah. Where was I?
You weren't born yet.
We had so much fun. But then, well, then everything changed. Rodrik became so serious, the Lord in training, and he never smiled anymore. And Asher just got angry at everything. Promise me you won't be like that. Please, just be you. I like you the way you
I
are.
agree, sir.
I know a lord has many responsibilities, but you don't need to be like them.
I may have to change.
I'd rather have my brother than a lord.
You'll have to have both, I'm afraid.
Does anyone know other
But
Telltale games? Are they
since you're
jump
the new
perspectives?
lord, you can do anything you want.
I suppose.
Jumping perspectives is pretty
Everyone
core
will have to
to
do
like
as you
the Game
say.
of Thrones
So I get
Song
all
by
the
Some
sweets I
Fire
want.
experience, I think.
If only it were that simple. It would be nice if someone did what I wanted for once. But Ethan will be a good lord. A proper lord. The lord of a noble house can do a great
Really,
many
it's not
things.
it's not common. Wheel of Time also does that. I love how Wheel of Time will go for like 4 books without a particular character being a POV character, and then suddenly there'll be a POV for a huge section of the next book. It happens a little bit with Game of Thrones too. He uses POV as storytelling.
What's the matter?
Lord Whitetail has arrived, unannounced and certainly unexpected. He's come demanding justice.
You'll be surprised when a character in the 6th
Can't he
book
meet
has a
with
POV
Duncan?
that has never had
He
one before.
is the Castellan.
Stay with us. Please,
Or he'll have
Ethan.
some very important characters who never get a POV, like Robb Stark.
We really must go.
It's your decision. You are the lord.
If I were lord, I would command Ethan to stay with his family.
Fine. If that's what's required of me.
Telltale Stormlight.
Very well then.
Stormlight have a any sort of TV movie deal? I know Lin-Manuel Miranda wants to do Kingkiller Chronicles. That's a cool setting, too.
They showed up unannounced. Lord Whitehill is in a lather. I assume you explained to Lord Ethan why they're here?
Business with Gared. I told him.
13, that's pretty far back,
knows
okay.
Gared is a squire to this house.
I'm a mud, I don't
suppose.
know anything about my
Is,
ancestry.
was. It makes no difference. The Whitehills were clearly in the wrong, so don't give him any satisfaction. Out there, you were decisive and firm. Now do it again with these bastards.
Let's not do something rash. Things are bad enough as it is.
What should I say to him?
Tell him and his men to leave.
Now is not the time to anger Lord Whitehill any more than he already is. He's got 5 times as many men, and the backing of House Bolton.
All the more reason to stand up for ourselves. Only cowards and dead men roll over.
Oh, interesting. Rights have already been bought by the studio. Still trying to capture that Game of Thrones money magic. The Amazon 7-season Lord of the Rings show.
Lord Ethan, is it? My condolences for your father and brother. The late Lord Forrester was no friend to me or my house. My only regret is I wasn't there to drive the dagger into his heart myself. I've been waiting for this day all my life. The Forresters finally get their due.
I may be young, but I'm not so easily fooled. You're trying to rile me, but it won't work.
Doing the Trump handshake.
You are that boy. Too young to know when you're in over your head. And no bread and salt. What kind of fucking house receives a lord with no fucking bread and salt? You bloody amateur.
That's because you don't have guest rates.
Courtesies. I should have expected as much.
Calm yourself, old man.
You little fuck! That's how you talk to a lord? You Forresters have shit on us for generations. Well, now the Starks are no longer around to have your back, are they? We're the power in the north now.
Roose Bolton is the Warden of the North.
Aye. And we've been his bannermen for 5
Roose is
fucking
loose.
centuries. You cunt.
Lord Ethan, you're losing control of this.
We all serve House Bolton now.
I'm not finished. Maybe if you hadn't been so fucking greedy with the ironwood, things would have been different between us.
You squandered your share.
Our share was taken from us. We had no fucking choice but to harvest what was left.
What is it you want, Lord Whitehill?
Hey, it's the guy that got away.
Your man, the squire. We were minding our own business. Keeping the king's peace, as his lordship here said. When your man attacked us for no reason.
No reason.
Attacked for no reason.
Gared was only defending himself.
Then you admit it was your man who killed my men. And a pig farmer at that. How do you answer for your squire, Lord Ethan? He acted in your name.
He was defending his family as any man would. But your men murdered them all.
You lost pig farmers, not soldiers. The soldiers worth 100 of their type. Where's the fucking coward who killed my men? I know he's here. What have you done with him?
I took care of it. He received his punishment and it's done. He's gone.
Hey, there's that Unreal Engine arm cross.
That was my justice to deliver, boy, and you denied me of it. I'm not leaving until I have my justice. Now bring me the coward who did it, or you'll answer to Roose Bolton. What kind of fucking house is this?
A house of honorable men.
Lady Forrester.
It's
You bellow
Schmatlin.
like a wounded boar, Lord Whitehill. Have you forgotten your manners?
I mean no disrespect to you, my lady.
Whitehill does?
Considering your losses and all. But this is not over.
It's over when my son says it is.
I've heard enough, Lord Whitehill.
Ethan is Lord of Ironrath now. By rights, his word is law here. If that displeases you, then I trust you can find the door.
I could see him being an underhouse.
That lad may be.
They go into
lord
a
of
lot
this
about like house hierarchies.
But Lord Bolton will have the final say.
Lots
I'll
of things
send him a
about like
raven
holding
letting
kids
him
as
know
hostages.
Forrester man
And...
killed one of his own. That the new Lord Forrester lied to my face and denied me my justice. Then we'll see whose word is law.
You're a craven, Lord Whitehill.
Just making a good relationship here. Yeah, it did not go
I was wrong
well.
about your son, my lady. He stood up to him like a true lord.
You were brave, my son. But you'll need to be braver still when Ramsay
That's interesting.
arrives to see
I didn't
you
realize I was choosing between
Prepare a raven.
making
We
my
need to send
family
word to
happy and
Mira
being a
in
good
King's Landing
diplomat.
at once.
Like how those are mutually exclusive, right? The three-chinned
Your
craven.
sister can help us. Although just a handmaiden, she has Marjorie Tyrell's favour. Lady Marjorie's betrothal to the king may be enough to keep the Boltons at bay, if it's presented to her as it should be.
It's cool that the Foresters are all over the place. Yeah, that's the one to vote.
Ethan made this for me. It was very kind of Lady Marjorie to give this to me. It once belonged to Lady Elaena.
Queen of Thorns.
Asher sent me this coin to remember him. What a strange place, Essos.
That's a Shimura.
Father, much excitement here in King's Landing for the coming wedding. Lady Marjorie has proven to be quite popular throughout the city.
Yeah, I'm all excited to see what POVs we're gonna do. It would be a neat way to get us to Daenerys, right?
I miss all of you, and I look forward to the day you can.
This is all pretty reasonable so far, I think, with the way the story and POVs have been laid out. I almost prefer that it wouldn't let you, like, free roam.
By Lomas Longstrider. A gift from Rodrik. I hope to see them all someday.
Yeah, about that. She looks pretty perpetually bummed.
It troubles
She's
me
being
to even
upstaged
ask
by
this,
Natalie Dormer.
But you must appeal to Lady Marjorie to intervene on our behalf. She is our best hope, and can be a powerful ally.
Or their
Especially
dire
now
pics.
when your family so desperately needs her help.
Is there any kind of mythological boar creature? Always liked Marjorie as a character, especially in the books, because you only ever see Marjorie through other people's POVs.
Oh, sorry, milady.
Cersei's
I
kind of an
didn't mean to
idiot.
disturb you. I can come back later if you'd like.
You kind of read between the lines with how smart Marjorie is.
No, it's fine. Come in.
Begging your pardon, milady,
The Labor Spore. Did it have a special name?
If you don't mind my asking, you seem rather upset.
I'm just worried about my family.
Ah, letter from home, is it?
It's kind of you to ask.
Of course, milady. You've always been kind to me.
Please hurry if you can. Lady Marjorie will be here any minute.
Of course, milady.
You know, have you heard of dumping a bucket?
Work for Lady Marjorie?
Maybe you can't do that. I'm assuming that's coals.
I may be wrong, but it seems like you do.
I'm her handmaiden.
That's what I thought. I've seen you with her before.
You seem like good friends. I saw Lady Marjorie just this morning, outside the Royal Sept, talking to Queen Cersei.
Cersei?
They appeared to be having some sort of disagreement. I couldn't hear much, but...
What did they say?
I couldn't make out much, but I know they were talking about the Starks and House Forrester.
House Forrester?
I hope you're not in any kind of trouble. But I thought you ought to know.
Oh, thanks. That's real helpful. You've just stressed the shit out of me without giving me any concrete details.
You see and hear all sorts of things when people don't even know you're there.
It's like the equivalent of a "we need to talk" text.
Good night, milady.
Thanks, great. Now I'll just be stressed out for the rest of the day.
Lady Marjorie, you're early.
Got her Natalie
there would be
Dormer's
time for us
smirk.
to talk. Come, there's something we must discuss.
Is that Natalie Dormer? Sounds pretty close.
From the
Curious
day
if they
you
got
arrived
anyone
in
from the
Highgarden, I've thought of
show.
you more as a friend than as my handmaiden.
Oh, sweet.
A dear friend, in fact.
Thank you, my lady.
And you know how I feel about what's happened to your family. I feel your pain as if it were my own. What you've suffered is beyond imagining. And your poor family as well.
You're very kind, my lady.
Of course, Mira, but you must not despair. We will get through this together. You must understand there are limits to what I can say, especially here in King's Landing, now that I am to be queen. To have a handmaiden from the north whose family fought for Robb Stark. It raises questions at a time I can least afford. Cersei herself cornered me this morning outside the Royal Sept.
She's the first
She mentioned the northern
main
girl
series
in my
noble we've run
service,
into
and
in
she
this game.
painted you a traitor. She was very pleased with herself.
What does she intend to do?
She intends to make you miserable, knowing that will make me miserable as well. She demands an audience. She wants an apology of some sort. For what, I don't know, but she's waiting for us now, and I promised I would bring you to her. I
Great.
wouldn't ask this of you
There's no
if
way
it
they
were
got
not
Lena Headey
important.
for this. She's way too
I cannot
expensive.
afford any conflict with Cersei with the wedding so near.
I cannot apologize, my lady. I'm not a traitor.
I know you're not, but you must find a way to appease her. Humor her. Tell her what she wants to hear.
Marjorie's a smart politician.
See if the Queen Regent is ready to receive us. You'll be
I
fine.
hope her story
I know
plays
you will.
out differently in the books
You
if
may
they
feel
ever
one
get
thing,
released.
but you must say another.
As much as that sequence was pretty neat on the show.
Good luck.
We're all counting on you. Sup?
You can do this.
When did this must be like immediately after the Red Wedding, because Tyrion was out of King's
Lady
Landing pretty
Marjorie,
shortly afterward.
Aren't you looking lovely this evening?
They got Peter Dinklage? Holy
Tyrion.
shit.
Your Grace? With your permission, allow me to introduce Lady Mira of House Forrester.
I will speak truly, Your Grace.
I should hope so. Speak falsely, and it'll be worse for you.
House Forrester.
She's also a pretty good sound-alike for Lena
loyal
Headey if it's not
to the
actually
king.
Lena Headey.
Are they?
I beg your pardon, Your Grace.
I don't think that's
wasn't
Lena
talking
Headey.
to you. I want to hear from the girl. Is your family loyal to the king?
Perhaps you should ask the new Lord Forrester.
He's not here, is he? She is.
House Forrester's loyalty to the crown never wavers, Your Grace.
I see. And yet, for centuries the Foresters have been loyal bannermen to House Stark. A house of traitors.
Yes, Your Grace. They are traitors.
It is, really? Wow.
The Starks
Damn.
were your liege lord, yet you name them traitors so easily.
That's crazy.
Clearly her loyalty wavers quite a lot.
If she has any loyalty at all. Is your house
I
willing to
mispressed
swear
that.
fealty to your new liege lord, Roose Bolton?
He is the Warden of the North, Your Grace.
He is. And I the Queen Regent and Tyrion the Master of Coin.
The girl has a remarkable talent for answering questions while in fact saying nothing at all.
Old allegiances are not easily abandoned. But now that the war is over, we must look to rebuild and forge new alliances. There are ships and shields to be built, and Joffrey will need a steady supply of ironwood for his armies. I'm told there are others who would happily serve that purpose, but I trust we can rely on House Forrester.
Forster Ironwood does seem rather unique.
To our mutual benefit, Your Grace.
And at the pleasure of your king. It would be a shame to see it fall into the hands of another house. I imagine you'd do almost anything to prevent that from happening, wouldn't you? Ask any Lannister, and they'd do whatever was necessary
Riker,
to
what's up?
save Casterly Rock. It would be unfortunate to see another house lay claim to what's yours.
There are limits, Your Grace.
Perhaps, but not if your house faces potential ruin.
What would you have the girl do, Cersei? It's not as if she fought beside the Starks, wielding a battle axe for the Northern Army.
It raises an interesting question, I suppose. Can we truly blame those who end up on the wrong side of the war?
Cersei
Our
would
dear
say
Marjorie
yes.
here was betrothed to Renly Baratheon on the false assumption that he would one day rule the Seven Kingdoms.
It was Robert Baratheon
Can
who
we fault
always
her for her
Dragon
mistake?
Ball Z welcomed
Should
his
she be held
enemies.
accountable?
I won't judge her, Your Grace. I wasn't there. I didn't face her decisions.
Aren't you a delightful
You avoided the
girl?
question.
If only one could flit through life without ever holding an opinion of their own.
If there's a point to this, I hope you find it quickly.
Loyalty can be such a hard thing to define. This city alone is filled with all sorts of ambitious opportunists looking to reinvent themselves, pretending to be something they're not. Who knows what lurks within their hearts? You are a girl from the north, here in service to Lady Marjorie. One can only assume her interests are yours. Yet loyalty to a king, that must be absolute, beyond question. And if your loyalties were to become conflicted between your king and the very person whom you serve, what would you do then?
I'm sure she
would...
would...
Let the girl answer the question.
My loyalties would never conflict, Your Grace.
That's a coward's answer. I will not have my time wasted by a northern girl who thinks she can play games. Who do you choose?
The king, of course.
Well said. I was beginning to worry you didn't have your priorities straight.
She is a threat to the crown, isn't she? The most dangerous handmaiden in all of King's Landing.
I'm not quite sure what to make of her. Not surprising, I suppose, for a northern girl, but not very encouraging either.
Yeah, pot meat kettle.
I'd like a word with you, if I may.
Of course, Your Grace.
Give me side eye. Shit, you told me to tell them what they wanted to hear.
I'll walk you out.
No, don't be rude.
This may come as a surprise, but I met your father once, at the tourney at Lannisport. Even then he didn't trust Roose Bolton. We only spoke briefly, but your father struck me as an honorable man. You have my condolences for his loss.
Thank you, Lord Tyrion. That's very kind of you to say.
That certainly took courage. To so publicly declare your loyalty to Joffrey for all to hear. Poor Lady Marjorie was humiliated, although Cersei seemed quite pleased. It was quite the first impression.
I did it for Lady Marjorie.
Rather odd, if that's what she asked of you. but I'm sure she has your best interests at heart. My sister and I have our differences. She takes great pleasure in her little charades. I take mine in thwarting them. We must find our amusements where we can. She threatened to give your ironwood to another house. It is the Master of Coin who decides such matters. The crown needs boats.
Where's Tywin
Boats
right now?
need wood, and I speak for the crown in this regard, not her.
What are you suggesting?
I suppose the crown could be persuaded to secure ironwood from House Forrester. Lady Marjorie might not look favorably on such an alliance, and it would infuriate Cersei.
I think he was already in, because that's how Storm of Swords ends, right? Storm of Swords is insane. The Red Wedding happens, Tywin's the Hand of the King, and he gets wrecked by Tyrion. I guess that's the second half.
It's a risk I'm willing to take, Lord Tyrion. Please.
You are a brave girl, aren't you? I'll consider it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I promised Sansa I would join her for dinner tonight.
Because Tywin's the one that
3
orchestrates the Red
beautiful
Wedding.
bottles of Dornish wine await my arrival. The mere
Yeah,
thought of
Tyrion's
them makes
Master
me
of Coin.
thirsty already. Just be careful. This is not the North. King's Landing can be a nest of vipers to the uninitiated.
Yeah, it's right after the Red Wedding. So Tyrion's not long for King's Landing. That shit's gonna go down. Storm of Swords was kind of an insane book. Like, so much
Mira,
happens in
I
it.
was worried. How was it? Cersei has a way of looking at you as though you're nothing. It's more than a little intimidating.
It didn't go very well.
I'm sorry. Cersei is known for being rather difficult. But at least it's over now.
We're not getting
Lady
any
Marjorie
indicator
has
of
spent the
time
entire
pass between
day working on
sequences.
seating arrangements for the wedding. Of course, you and I are seated way at the back.
Okay, so
Here
it's
with
coming up on the
four cousins
Joffrey
and
wedding.
ninth-born
Gotcha, the
sons.
Purple Wedding.
Sir
That's when
Jaime,
shit goes bad
I
for
wouldn't
Tyrion.
mind tarnishing that white cloak of his. Sarah! What? It's true. And Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper. I'm told he has a paramour, which I doubt is Dornish for wife. We're just having some fun. Perhaps Lady Marjorie could make the right introductions. Who knows? We might meet our
So we're
future
like
husbands.
60% of the way into Storm of
Although
Swords.
marrying
Okay.
a king, I can only imagine what that would be like. Would you marry Joffrey if it meant you'd become queen? He does have a certain look about him, and he's always treated Lady Marjorie well.
I don't want to be queen, no matter who I'd have to marry.
Don't want to be queen? You northerners. You'd make a perfect scepter. Well, I would marry him. Imagine the power you would have as Queen of the Seven Kingdoms.
You haven't watched the
I might
show.
even allow you to be my handmaiden. Let's see, who else should we marry off? Brienne of Tarth and Tyrion Lannister. What a perfect match. Sir Bronn and...
What are you doing? Well?
I'm sorry, my lady.
As am I. We shouldn't have been messing about.
This is not a game. It's a battle plan. Allies and enemies can be made with every move. Yet they say it is men who are powerful. The Queen was pleased by your display, Mira. I'm just glad it's over. King's Landing can be exhausting sometimes. There's always someone to please or some perceived slight to smooth over. I fear it will only get worse when I am queen.
My favorite Gurm quote, someone asked him, how do you write women so well? And he says, well, I start with the assumption that women are people.
Do you agree?
It doesn't matter what you feel. It only matters what you say.
You learn very quickly. Your words to Cersei were brave. but I know you must fear what the Boltons might do to your family. I do appreciate your willingness to appease her, as difficult as it may have been.
Thank you, my lady. There's been something on my mind. Something important. I did have a favor to ask of you in return.
Whatever you wish to say, you can say it in front of Sarah. There are no secrets between us.
Sarah's not the most...
It's about my family.
She's gonna go tell the coal boy little bird for Varys.
I prefer to speak with you alone.
So incredulous. She sort of established that she's useless. Sarah will remember that.
Go on.
Forgive me, my lady. I wouldn't otherwise ask this of you, but my mother insisted. It's about my family.
Ramsay Snow. What would you have me do?
My mother fears our family will suffer if Ramsay is left to do as he likes.
Yeah, what the hell is she supposed to do?
If a raven could be sent to the Boltons to let them know House Forrester has the protection of the crown. I know it's a lot to ask of you, and I wouldn't otherwise, but she insisted.
That is no small request, especially now.
I know, my lady, and I wouldn't ask this of you otherwise. But my mother has left me no choice. She insisted.
Wonder if they got Pedro Pascal.
Only too well
Get more
family fought for the Starks.
Oberyn,
Now
I'd be very
you would
happy.
have me ask him to intervene. Is the situation that dire? Joffrey will not look favorably on such a request.
I will forever be in your debt. My family will forever be in your debt.
I don't know, Mira. If Cersei were to find out...
You're the only one who can help me. You have power over him, Lady Marjorie, as no one else does. Not even his mother. Ramsay Snow will arrive at Ironrath within the week. I would never ask this of you if it weren't so urgent.
The way their eyes move at the end of a dialogue is kind of weird.
Well. I'll make your request, but I cannot promise anything.
Thank you, my lady. I will send a raven to my family at once.
This is specific to the controversy with the Boltons, where, okay, one of the Forrester's pig farmers, Gared, who we're playing as again, murdered a Bolton in defense of his family. So now the Boltons want revenge and blood, and they're going to take it out on House Forrester, who's now their bannerman. She's trying to get the crown to say, don't fuck with House Forrester. Don't send Ramsay to go just wreck them.
Let's play a little game, shall we?
Hey, it's Ramsay.
Did you know my ancestors wore the skins of their enemies as a coat?
Creepy dude, man.
Not my best work, unfortunately. I suppose I have fallen out of practice. But he didn't make it easy. What
He
was all
seems
that
nice.
bloody noise?
Like a drowning cat.
Yeah, I thought we'd only kill the Whitehill too, but somebody made a comment about us offending the Boltons. So we attacked them.
Man holds few
There were three dudes, right? One was a Whitehill, one was a Bolton.
Man holds none.
I spared.
The Warden of the North.
He does now. How much further is it to these Foresters?
A day, my lord. Two at most.
What was that?
My lord?
Shh. Listen.
Whitehills are Bolton bannermen, okay.
There. Hear that?
I know I heard something. Never mind. We've wasted enough time already.
Now, I would expect, given that these games are all about player choice, that they have a lot of like wildly branching paths, but I haven't yet played a game that actually nails wildly branching paths. There's supposed to be a game with a lot of mocap and expensive voice acting. So is that a common complaint leveraged at Telltale games, that they don't actually change all that much with your decisions? I guess I shouldn't know that until the game is over. Like, it works now that that wave function's not collapsed. One of these dudes had the exact model as a guy I killed.
Bloody hell.
Gross. It's like, you should know, dude. Oh, it's the flayed man.
Lord Ethan.
Not the afraid man.
As I was saying, you are young. And there are those within these walls who are uncertain of your leadership. But 300 generations of Forester Lords stand
I think
behind
choice-based games like these actively get worse when you would think that having all the choices gives them replayability, but when you replay them, you see the Matrix
Lord Thorin the Bold,
and realize how shallow they actually are.
What did they call my father?
Lord Gregor the Good. He was fair and wise and courageous in battle.
And what will they call me?
That is for you to define as the new Lord. These were your father's people to lead and protect, and now they're yours. But your father did not bear this responsibility alone. He and every Forester Lord before him chose one man whom they trusted above all others, the Lord Sentinel. Forester traditions demand that a new Lord Sentinel must be chosen.
Is there any agreement in the gaming community about the best branching path game?
Summon the Lord. We need his
Oh yeah? Detroit. That's from the folks that made Heavy Rain and Indigo Prophecy, right? Heavy Rain does some pretty different stuff.
Lord Ethan. Marstead.
Why did you kick this man?
This craven is a deserter and a thief.
This house is doomed! We all fucking know it!
Quiet, thief. Eric was supposed to be guarding our weapons, but instead we caught him stealing them.
2 shields and 3 spears.
Why did you do it?
Because I've no wish to die.
Yes, my lord. I fled. We should all flee.
It's
To
not
where?
stealing if you're taking what's yours by right.
He speaks true.
I've a family to feed, and not 2 coins to rub together since Lord Gregor left us to rot here.
Where's our pay?
Our share of bread and wine grows smaller every day.
Leave the poor man alone!
I guess they're good at finding
Lord
choices
Ethan,
that are
I know
hard,
these words
right?
are hard, but
Not an
they're
obvious
honest.
right answer.
This house is falling. We'll never survive the coming winter.
We are in this together.
You say that, but it won't be you who's starving come winter.
You'll address him as Lord. Lord Ethan.
I think that might be what they're going for with Telltale. It's not we're going to make branching paths. The choices are going to be
Now may not be the time for
hard
harsh
on
punishment.
purpose.
The men are on edge as it
The men
is.
need to know they cannot do whatever the fuck they please. Their lord will not permit it.
You can send him to the war.
Show him mercy, my lord. He stole from us. Deserve to make him pay for what he's done. Give us justice.
I will decide.
Send him to the wall. Take his fingers. He's a thief. If you punish me, you'll be punishing an innocent man. It will be an injustice, my lord. Please,
My lord, my family depends on me.
I sentence you to the wall, where you will join the Night's Watch.
No, please, my lord! My family, without me, they'll die!
I could hear that, Riker. Mostly saying on the wall because that's where Gared's going.
Unpleasant, but a lord must mete out punishment when it's due. Not just yourself, of course.
Maester, what do you think?
Me?
Yes. Did I do what's right?
The wall seems like a fitting place for a thief. I only hope he doesn't find Gared there and take his anger out on the poor squire. You heard what the thief said. I expect this sort of thing will happen again. But a sentinel can help you in the face of disloyalty. You need someone you can trust by your side. Someone you can rely on, no matter the circumstance.
Who do you think I should choose?
There are two capable men for the role. They both want the job, but neither thinks very highly of the other.
How do I decide between them?
Talk to them. Solicit the opinion of people close to you. Here.
Probably take the
bracer
uncle.
of the sentinel. The badge of office. Tonight is your first small council meeting. It would be wise to bestow this bracer upon your chosen sentinel then, to show that you are decisive and in control of this house. Your sentinel will wear this for all to see.
I understand. I'll do it now.
Come speak with me when you're ready to convene the small council, my lord.
Sure. Alright, let's talk around. See what people got to say here. Wait, nope, let's not talk to him yet. Look at, there we go. I do like this so far. I think this game does a pretty good job of capturing the style of Game of Thrones, and I can see why Telltale wanted to do it. What else? So they've done Walking Dead. Oh, thanks, Nonovan. I appreciate that. Oh man, that was like $20. Cool. Thank you. Or more. Thanks, Nonovan. I appreciate it. They've done
That means now.
Back to the Future, right? They got a kid that sounds a lot like
Duncan.
Marty McFly.
Yes, my lord.
I have much to consider and face a difficult decision.
Perhaps I can help. Your father often sought my counsel.
As Lord, I must name a sentinel.
Of course. And if I may ask, who do you favor for the role? Perhaps I can share my insight. And talking can sometimes help you make a decision.
Actually, I wanted to ask, why did you send Gared away?
I did it for your own protection, my lord. Gared had to go.
Upset.
By sending him away myself,
Arm cross.
I thought it would keep you blameless in the eyes
Life
of the
is
White
Strange,
House.
Mass Effect.
I only hope to give you an advantage. And I regret any action you disapprove of.
I understand. And you're forgiven.
Thank you, my lord.
Thank you, Duncan. I appreciate your advice.
I'm at your service, my lord.
Kid? Maybe like 14?
Our provisions are rather low, my lord.
14-year-olds having to make decisions
I
is
made
pretty
the
core
count
to the
again,
books.
just
They
to be sure.
up their ages in the show.
But it doesn't look good.
How bad is it? How long could we hold the
Sounds
house?
fair, Riker.
We couldn't withstand a siege, my lord. If
Jaden's
the Boltons or
age.
the White Hills cut us off and wait us out, we'd only last a fortnight. But there are steps we can take. In the past, we've demanded food from the small folk to replenish our stores. We can do it again, if you'd like. We've done it before in desperate times. The last long winter, my family had to give all our pigs to the house.
No, there must be something else we can do.
Well, I hope we find it soon. We won't have much room to maneuver if we don't have the option of holding fast. I can speak to the huntsmen and trappers. Perhaps they can do more. My lord.
Like, Gurm originally wanted to do this big time skip. Like, he had the entirety of the first 3 books planned out, so like the first 4 seasons of the show. And they're very, very tight and clean. And then he starts writing the 4th book, so I want to say the 5th season of the show. Okay, I'm able to pause. He starts reading the 4th book, 5th season of the show, and as he's about halfway through it, he realizes that by doing the time skip, like he wants to jump ahead when all these important characters are powerful. He has to explain too much by way of flashbacks. So after spending all this time writing the book a certain way, he basically bails on the idea, rewinds a time skip, and starts picking up exactly where he left off at the end of Storm of Swords, which requires him to explain a lot of really, really boring, dumb stuff, like, you know, explaining how certain characters end up in the same place. And I think that's why Feast for Crows and Dance with Dragons feel really slow compared to the first 3 books. It's sort of that problem of, like, when a new band first becomes popular, like their first album is really, really selling well, it's because they've had sometimes 5, 10, 20 years to develop their content and cut out their worst stuff and save their best stuff. And then once you require them to start making music in real time, it's very difficult for a lot of artists to keep up with that momentum they started with. They basically started a sprint because you have to be sprinting to be noticed to begin with, right?
Ethan. Or should I say Lord Ethan?
Hello, Uncle Malcolm.
I saw what you did today. It's not an easy thing to do, showing mercy to a man who admits his guilt. But if you'll excuse me, my lord, I should finish packing before nightfall. I hope to be off tomorrow.
But where are you going?
Your mother asked me to cross the narrow sea to find your brother, Asher.
Hey!
She has
not
asked me to
Jorah.
return with him, to help the house.
She said
Jorah
nothing of this to me.
Because she fears you will not agree. I told her my place is here, that I'll be of no help to you in Essos. But she insisted. I will hold, of course, until you've spoken with her about this. Just try to be kind to her. She's been living a nightmare made real. But you know that just as well.
She's my mother. I know how to speak to her.
I'm sure
About
you do.
that.
My mother's fears are not the only ones I face. My people are scared as well. I'm told I must choose a sentinel.
If I may be so bold, Sir Royland is the man for the job. He'd be a fine choice.
Why Sir Royland?
We are at war. You need a warrior by your side. Royland has the respect of his men and will bring strength and discipline to this house. Duncan would offer sage advice, but now is not the time to negotiate. Not with the likes of Ramsay Snow.
Thank you, Uncle.
Ethan, I need to talk to you.
Alright. Leaning towards Duncan right now, but he makes a good point.
Mother told me.
I'm gonna
Mira
play
has
these
asked
games
for
like
Lady
Ned
Marjorie's
Stark and
help.
get wrecked.
Did she?
I knew we could rely on Mira. She always thinks of family above all else. Hopefully Lady Marjorie's influence will be enough. But right now I'm more concerned about you. I saw what you did to that man. I know you told me you'd have to change, but I suppose I hadn't believed you would.
I can't afford any more mistakes. Everyone knows what happened with Lord Whitehill. Gared being sent to the war without my knowledge.
I know. And that wasn't your fault.
But I'm the Lord. It's my responsibility. The people want me to lead. They need me to, but...
What? Ethan, please.
What do you suggest I do?
You must be strong. decisive.
Thanks.
You are the lord of this
Be
house.
strong and decisive, but don't do anything that makes me unhappy.
You're just as capable as Asher or Rodrik ever were. I know it. I only wish you did too.
You've always given me good advice. Thank you.
Is that advice, though? Does that help? It wasn't quite as bad as the totally not a Varys little bird coal boy, like, hey, I heard about this thing, but I'm not going to give you any detail, just enough to stress you
Sword
out.
up. Swing left. Parry. Wrong. I didn't know
Sir
dogs
Royland,
could hold swords.
A word?
Of course, my lord.
You've always
I have
spouted
many
me.
decisions to
Excuse
make,
me.
and I
Thank
wanted
you.
your advice. What's the state of our defences? Are these men ready for what's coming?
This lot, ready? No, but they will be. We post anyone who can hold a spear along the parapet, up where they won't get much scrutiny, and put our meanest, nastiest looking brutes front and centre. That'll show Ramsay we're a force in our own right. You've got to project power, especially when you're weakened.
Thank you, Sir Royland. I'll let you get back to training these men.
Thank you, my lord. And I'll be sure to watch out for more deserters. After today, I suspect there'll be more to come.
Thanks.
Now, when I say parry, get that sword out!
You can make a good point, though, Raker, that the Telltale game, it seems like it would work better if the choice is looked at as a narrative device, not as a, oh, this is going to have real consequences, but as a, you know, when you're reading a book and a character makes a decision, you go, huh, would I have made the same choice? And in a video game, you're actually being forced to make that choice often with time duress, which is a cool way to
Careful.
explore your
That's it,
story.
and you won't have much left. Something to pick your teeth with.
No, Ethan. Look at this. All good swords have a name. I call mine Two Brothers. I carved this to give me strength. And this, so I remember. I mean, I could never forget, but...
And what of your brother Asher? Where's his name?
There's only two sides to the blade. Besides, he left, so... Yeah. Someday, I'll have a real one. But not like that one. Only a lord could have that sword.
Yeah, this is
You'll
my
have a
first
good
time
sword.
playing it.
I'm sure of it.
I watched you today. I saw what you did to that man. Was he our enemy? A bad man? Everyone keeps talking about them.
No, he's not our enemy, but he did a bad thing.
Then I wish you'd hurt him. People who do bad things need to be punished.
Alright, Ryan.
Someone did something bad to Father and Rodrik. Someone should hurt them even worse. I want a real sword. No one's afraid of wood. I'll find the men who took
But,
Rodrik someday, and I'll make sure I have a real
I haven't played
sword
the
when
game
I
before.
do.
So, I feel like that's very risky, Raker. If you have some kind of in-game indicator of the severity of the consequences for a decision, or the importance of a decision, I feel like that can, I think it can rob every other decision of their weight a little bit. I don't know. It's hard to say. There's certainly been some sequences in this game where it feels like the UI is telling me this is more important, like when a choice just lingers on the screen for a long time and there's not a countdown timer. I tend to assume that those are more critical. I don't know if it would make it better or worse to
Maester?
Yes,
have
Lord
like a
Ethan.
severity
I see you've
indicator on
spoken to a
screen.
number of people. Are you prepared to name your sentinel?
What is it you're doing over here?
Admiring the ironwood, my lord. I studied it at the Citadel. The wood may be black, but I see gold. An entire forest of gold.
What do you mean?
It is our greatest asset, my lord. Why not give some of our ironwood to House Bolton?
Oh, you're not
and
even a
have them
fan of the
live as free?
messages?
We could ransom ourselves.
I kind of like the messages.
You can hardly put a price on your own life, or the lives of those you love.
How much do we have to give, Maester?
From here to Wolfswood Creek and then across the next 2 ridges, it should be enough to satisfy Ramsay Snow, I imagine. Bloodlust can often be sated by gifts and gold.
I don't know about that for Ramsay Snow, but...
My lord, are you now ready to name your sentinel?
Yes, Maester. I'm ready.
Very well. I will convene the small council at once.
No, blind playthrough just means it's my first time playing the game. It's a industry turn. I've actually used those messages in like D&D before.
You may sit.
Comic effect.
Lord Ethan has reached his decision.
Often without any actual consequences
Before I name
arising.
my sentinel, I must tell you. Duncan, Royland, this house needs you both.
But you can only choose one, my lord.
Let him be on with it.
Many thought either of you would make a fine sentinel, but I have made my decision.
Give Bracer to Mom.
Sir Royland de Gore, you will be my sentinel.
Gods be praised. You've done well, Lord Ethan. You won't regret this.
A poor choice, my lord. Forgive me for saying so, but it's true.
Now, sentinel, what do you have to report of Ramsay Snow?
My scouts say he's a day's ride away. We've no time to waste. He'll arrive before any of our allies could be here.
Who knows what he's capable of?
Patronizing,
We need
sure.
to prepare for the worst.
We can devise a plan to deal with him.
The Boltons need our people to harvest the ironwood. Even the bastard Ramsay must understand that.
He's not coming here to negotiate. We must answer with the sword.
That's bloody suicide. You gamble with the lives of everyone within these walls.
Quiet, Tuttle. You're not the Sentinel. I knew this would happen. He cannot be trusted.
This is the small council, is it not?
Let Duncan speak. I'd like to hear what he has to say. Duncan?
I'm sorry, Lord Ethan. You have chosen your sentinel. You should hear from him first.
Ugh.
The Bolton sigil is a flayed man. Force is the only thing they understand. Put every man who can hold a spear or crossbow on the wall, and make the bastard fill his boots with piss.
Well, he
would see
won't.
it for the empty gesture that it is, and have us flayed. We must take a measured approach, my lord.
Pick the wrong guy.
Gentlemen, please.
And then make the opposite decision of what the Sentinel suggests.
Thank the gods Mira has asked Lady Marjorie for her help.
I can only make that decision because I know the Boltons from the books.
We must have a plan if Mira's efforts are not successful. I trust Mira's judgment.
Mother, what do you recommend we do?
We must give him whatever he wants and be done with it. It's too dangerous to do otherwise.
Why not make an offering for peace, my lord?
Yeah, the wisdom of the Citadel.
We can give the Boltons ironwood in exchange for their protection.
You must be mad. It's pure folly to just give away the only currency we have to bargain with.
Enough! Maester Ortengrin has swayed me. We will offer the Boltons a share of the ironwood, and we will promise our people to harvest it, thus securing their safety.
A sentinel, I must warn you. Do this, and you invite ruin upon this house.
He's so excited about being basically hand of the Foresters.
If you aren't ready for a fight, you're bound to lose when one breaks out.
Ethan has made his opinion known, and you will respect his decision.
Forgive us, my lord. We are, of course, here to serve you, as we served your father.
Aye.
Well then, let's decide how we shall set the stage for Ramsay's arrival.
We could offer him the ironwood in the courtyard.
My lord, Making this kind of offer outright may simply embolden Ramsay. There could be trouble, and all the house will be there to see it. Meet him in the hall. It will be more private, and he will not have an audience to play against you.
Lord Ethan?
I will meet him in the Great Hall.
He's careless. Can't you see Tuttle is steering you wrong?
I've faithfully served this house for far too long to sit here and listen to this. Forgive me, my lord.
At point the
but you are
Sentinel
far
ignore
too
all
young
of his
to be the
advice.
lord of this house. You're likely to get us all killed.
Sit down at once.
Apologies, my son. But now that it is settled, we know what we must do. You will meet Ramsay Snow in the Great Hall.
And we will offer the Ironwood, providing a safe future for this house.
No matter what, I will stand beside you, my lord, where your sentinel belongs.
Then perhaps we should adjourn. We have to prepare the house.
This is gonna go badly for me and everyone in my house.
My lord, you have named your sentinel, but you still seem conflicted. And no matter what, you can't be indecisive. Not if you want to help this house. Forgive me.
There will always be those who question your leadership, which is why you need allies you can rely on. Family. Mira has done everything she can in King's Landing, but there are others who can help us. What about your brother, Asher?
Malcolm told me. You want to bring him back?
He's a skilled fighter. But what's more, he has the will to fight. A hunger for it.
Can he bring a dragon back
He
here?
always protected you and your sister.
Why would you bring him back after you exiled him?
He exiled himself. He has no desire to rule. Asher is volatile, but that is his strength too. Do you remember the miller's boy? How he tormented you? I wanted to intervene, but your father said Ethan must fight his own battles. But when Asher saw it, he didn't take a breath. He grabbed the miller's boy by the neck. That was his first instinct. Asher
You get to
knocked out
do
half the poor boy's
Asher
teeth.
in episode 2, right?
Of course, your father was furious, but you were in danger and there was nothing else Asher needed to know. Asher does not hesitate. He acts, and we need that. You have many fine qualities, but you do not have that anger inside you.
I'm not like that, but I don't need to be, do I?
No, but you need someone who is standing beside you.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm trying to do what's
Let's go to
best for this
Essos.
family.
Makes
What this
sense.
family needs. Ethan, let me send Malcolm to Essos.
Fine. Malcolm will go to Essos and bring Asher back.
Thank you, Ethan. I'm
Bye,
glad you will let me do this.
Schmengen.
Know that you never stand
Schmebengen.
alone. You are a forester.
Go
Mira
get
stands with
Schmajora.
us, and she may be able to help us yet.
I like, you can kind of think about certain relationships as being tropes in a story or a setting. This is something that I feel that, can I pause here? Something that I feel that Knights of the Old Republic, the first one, did incredibly well, where it was like, we don't need to directly ape all of the ideas, like note for note, shot for shot from the original trilogy of Star Wars, but like, what are the important relationships that we can keep in place? Like having the, you know, kind of smuggler side character. It doesn't necessarily have to be a smuggler, but Karth definitely fills that role. I think this game is doing a pretty good job of that too. Oh, the person that's been exiled to Essos. Shit, yeah, I'm gonna take the key. Can I take anything else? Yeah, that one. Get more options later on. I think I trust Marjorie, though. Do I, though?
Marjorie?
Oh, yikes, not even.
Oh,
How'd it go?
Lady Marjorie is still with the king. I thought you might want to know.
Thank you.
I thought we were friends, Mira. When you dismissed me the other day, I won't say it didn't hurt my feelings. We've known each other for years, and yet to be treated like that. I thought there was trust between us. Friends don't hold secrets from one another.
Sometimes we do.
Now Lady Marjorie thinks you don't trust me.
Oh, good.
And she values your opinion very much.
Sarah,
Large Marge. She's in charge.
My lady, I'll leave you to talk.
Are you all right, my lady?
The king was not inclined to offer help for your family.
Well, shit.
Gods.
X.
He said I was too easily swayed. And he reminded me that I am not yet his wife. I allayed his fear. For now. But it will be a long time before I can ask him for anything again.
Well,
nothing I said could cheer him. He wouldn't even speak to me when I left him.
What can I do to make this better, my lady?
There's nothing you can do, Mira.
Understand, it was my mother's plan, not mine. I just hope you can find some way to forgive me.
This is simply not how things are done, Mira. Not in King's Landing.
I'm sorry, my lady.
Soon I will be queen, and maybe then I'll be in a better position to help you. But for now, we must both be cautious.
I must send a raven. I have to warn my family. If you'll excuse me, my lady.
it was really smart, like, isolating this story to what happens to a lesser house.
Milady.
It doesn't really matter what happens in the main show.
Begging your pardon, milady. I hope I didn't frighten you.
How long have you been waiting there?
Not
Varys
long.
sends his
I was
regards.
just passing by when I saw you emerge from Lady Marjorie's room. I hope you saw. I was right before. About Lady Marjorie and Queen Cersei. I just want you to know, I can help you if you'd like. And your family, if you're willing to trust me. I hear all sorts of things. Things that could be useful for you.
How can you help me? My problems can't be solved by what you might overhear.
Which is why you must trust me, milady. You need allies. Hopefully I've proven I can be useful to you.
I'm sorry. I really must go.
Please don't despair. I know people who...
I don't trust this kid at all. As far as I can throw him.
Who'd be willing to help you.
The spider walks in. Okay, thanks, Gared.
Where the bloody hell is Duncan?
He should be here.
Fuck him if he's angry. We'll do without him.
Yeah, that's
and
not
without
good.
King's Landing. I know you'd hoped Mira could help us, but I'm confident we've enough strength of our own. Your men are
This
ready
is
to
going
act
real
if needed.
bad.
The gods haven't favored us, have they?
My lord, remember our words. Iron from ice. From that which seems hopeless comes strength.
Hey!
Isn't this a lovely pile of timber? Not the
feel
place
like-
I'd want to be if there was a fire.
Ironwood is near impervious to
The
flame.
actors are all doing a pretty good job, but Ramsey's really not phoning it in. What's the actor's name again? He's on like some
Lord Ramsay of House
BBC
Bolton,
show.
Son of
Misfits,
Roose
I think.
Bolton. Although a bastard, Lord Ramsay has the full authority of
Thank
the
you,
Warden
lad.
of the...
That's enough. Who is this little boy? Is he lost?
May I offer you bread and salt, Lord Ramsay?
I loathe bread and salt. Aren't you the little lord? Lord Whitehall told me you were young, but this... Look at you.
A token for the new Warden of the North.
Let me guess. Forrester Ironwood.
Carved by our most skilled craftsmen.
Ironwood. Doesn't look like much.
Your father will appreciate it, I hope. Our ironwood is highly sought after.
My father is not so easily impressed. Not bad. Lord Whitehill, can your lot do this?
Given enough time, we could learn...
Given enough time, you could do a great many things. But not this, apparently. It
Misfits
seems
is
the
the other
Foresters have a
one.
talent for something after all.
Lord Ramsay, we have another gift we'd like to offer your father. There are several ironwood groves along the borders of our land, all producing tall, strong trees. We'd like to give your father 2 of these groves, in tribute.
Give him. He is your warden. What's yours is already his. Look at that. More Foresters.
Lord Ramsay?
Come out where I can see you.
Creepy.
Force him to focus on the business at hand.
What is it you want, Lord Ramsay?
What do I want? Everything. Nothing. We'll see. First, let's see you bend the knee to my father, Lord Bolton, Warden of the North. Words are wind. Anyone can say they're loyal.
My lord.
Ha! That wasn't so hard now, was it? Here's the thing. I don't care about your loyalty. And I care even less about a bunch of trees on some far-off hill. The Crown, however, wants what you've got. Whatever you've been supplying the Starks for centuries. Ships, shields, chamber
I like how they
pots.
made them important too.
I expect you'll do the same for us. My father has promised as much to the king. You wouldn't want to make him a liar, would you? That wouldn't reflect well on me.
You needn't worry. Your father will have what he needs.
That's a good little lord.
You can't trust a Forester. They murdered our men.
It was a Forester squire who did it. One Whitehill soldier dead. One Bolton.
He was within his right. They killed his family.
His right? He killed a loyal soldier in my father's army. Then you welcomed me into your hall like a proper lord, hoping I wouldn't linger outside long enough to notice your pathetic little army. That sort of insolence from one of our loyal bannermen will not do. So I've come up with a solution that will benefit everyone. The Whitehills will be taking control of your ironwood from this day forward.
Well, that's not good.
The Ironwood. But...
The Whitehills are nothing more than up-jump thieves!
You can't do that.
Why not? You know something the Whitehills don't? We are talking about trees.
We have loyal craftsmen who make the finest weapons. The Whitehills have no such craftsmen. Do you want ironwood for the next 5 years, or the next 50 generations?
The little lord does have a point. We'll try this. Lord Whitehill will take half of your ironwood, and we'll see who fares better.
But my lord...
Half of something is better than the nothing you had before. To ensure there's no trouble, Lord Whitehall will install a garrison of 20 men within your walls.
20 men.
At Ironrath.
Talk about references. That's some meta shit right there.
They'll help maintain the king's peace. And make sure there's no more trouble.
This will cause more trouble, not less.
Not for me.
Great. Fantastic. The joke from the show. Oh, wait till we get out of this scene.
Griff.
Griff will lead the garrison.
The seven hells he will.
Lads, do make this visit worthwhile.
Please, Sir Royland, don't.
Look at this, little Forester. You're not frightened, are you?
Get his attention.
Lord Ramsay, please.
And you? Are you Lord Ethan's older sister?
I'm his twin, my lord.
Ah, twins. Well, like the Queen and her brother. Well, hopefully not just like the Queen and her brother.
No, incest is funny.
I never had a sister. Always wanted one.
We have more to discuss, Lord Snow.
I have an idea. You'll come with me. You can be my highborn ward.
Lord Ramsay, that's enough.
Do you like hunting?
Let her go.
She's
quite
super
pretty.
dead.
Your sister.
My lord, if you want a hostage, take me.
I suppose you can stay. Aren't you the brave lord?
Yeah, good job. Make that actually pretty scary. Oh shit.
What have you done?
But I don't want the brave lord.
That's pretty awesome. Hopefully I'm actually, like, permanently dead.
My lord! Oh, no! Even though you did bend the knee.
My son.
I think we've come to an understanding. I certainly feel better about all this.
That's awesome.
However, the Foresters need to keep their end of the bargain.
Stop!
Take the boy as your ward.
I'm glad
Kill
it didn't...
him if they give you any trouble.
It didn't cut to a game over screen there and make me do it again.
Lovely meeting all of you.
Don't tell me if that was totally scripted. I suspect that it was.
So quickly!
You brought this on yourself.
Mama!
Stop!
It seems like what Ramsay would
You
do.
will not take him!
Please, Ryan, please!
No!
Ryan! Do something!
Ethan? My son.
Whoops. Yeah, that was pretty great. Awards reception. No kidding. A pretty good choice for the end of their episode 1, too. I don't want to see the next time on...
Ethan sacrificed himself for us all.
Oh, maybe it's just summing
He
up the
saved
decisions
Talia's
I made.
life. He'll be remembered as Ethan the Brave.
This house needs a leader.
Lord Ethan named me Sentinel. I will lead this house.
Oh, that's kind of cool
My
that
sister asked you
the
to
next
swear
time on
loyalty to her
summarizes your
son,
decisions.
And you did it without flinching.
We can't
Yeah,
let
me
them
too,
hurt
sir.
Ryan too. We have to stop them.
We do not stand alone. There are those who will fight for us. Those who hold House Forrester above all other loyalties. Those
Hey, it's
who
Kit
will
Harington.
not stop until Ethan is avenged.
Hey, it's Amelia Clark.
Until Ryan is home again,
Soon.
our house will not fall. We will be ready.
Nothing comes without a cost, my lady. Are you
All the
prepared for what
characters
might
I expected to have a shield at the beginning here. Ewan, 34.2% left Bowen behind. Oh, most of them saved Bowen, no kidding. 62.4% swore loyalty to the king. Okay. I've actually been trying to make the less obvious decision in most cases, so I'm trying to have these bars be as red as possible, so that's cool. I figure most people would probably pick Duncan. It's 50-50 on where they meet Ramsay. Let's try for Hipsterton. I make that choice as a streamer just because I assume that if you're going to watch a game you've already seen, you may as well see a different decision than you probably made. But right. Can't do anything that everybody else does. Gotta get my candied bacon in a mason jar. Maximize your Game of Thrones experience. It's really... Telltale Games account keeps you up to date about our games, lets you enjoy more game features, and lets you see more cool stats from Game of Thrones game. I'm good. Does doing that actually add anything? Okay, let's keep playing. You probably shouldn't have known book quotes on the screen there.
These are dark days, I fear.
6 episodes, yeah. About 2 hours an episode. Maybe a couple of them are 2.5 hours.
Must never be lost. You're sending him to the wall. The boy's done nothing wrong.
The future of this house is in Lord Ethan's hands now.
I've decided to name you as my sentinel, Sir Royland.
I'm just worried about my family.
The king was not inclined to offer help for your family.
Are you willing to risk an alliance with the crown?
It's a risk I'm willing to take, Lord Tyrion.
That's where I could take the stamp.
Your mother asked me to cross the narrow sea to find your brother, Asher.
We don't want Whitehill men within these walls.
You can be my highborn ward.
My lord, if you want a hostage, take me.
Ethan.
No! Don't let them take me!
My son.
Me and Essos? Hey! Was that weird... Oh, there's this particular kind of scorpion. It's only in the books. Sir Barristan saves Daenerys from one of them. It has that face on the tail. I forget what it's called. It had a weird name, though, that made me confused as to what it actually was. It doesn't happen in the show. It's a book thing.
Whoa, it's just me, Beska.
Took you long enough. Your ale's getting warm. Or warmer, I should say.
Essos drums. Oh, was it in the show as well?
You can stop pacing.
This stuff is
They'll
weak
be
compared
here
to
soon.
Northern Ale. Is that wine? Or blood?
Maybe it was called a
Taste it
manticore.
and find out.
It's a weird thing to say, lady.
Fragrant.
Yeah, Yunkai is,
Looks like we weren't the first to rough up the place.
southeast Essos, I
This
want to
place
say.
could use a good cleaning. Only a forester brings his axe all the way to Essos. Wicked little thing, though.
I know that Barristan revealed himself immediately because the whole Arstan Whitebeard thing wouldn't work when the audience would recognize the actor. It's kind of a reveal in the book, though.
This place probably used to be nice.
Ale. It goes in yellow, comes out yellow. Waste time even drinking it, if you ask me.
Considering we found it in an abandoned tavern, it's not bad.
They smell off to you.
It's the only thing in Yunkai that doesn't.
I know. It's a filthy haven for thieves, murderers, and other deadly bastards. You should feel right at home. I know I do.
You know, I'm not really a bastard.
But you're my kind of bastard. It's half the reason we're friends.
Another round?
Have you forgotten about our honored and exalted guest?
He less Jorah-like than I
Go
thought.
see if he's still breathing.
I like the presentation of this episode so far.
How's he doing? We need him alive to collect his bounty. After that...
Remind me again, what's this fat pig fucker's name?
Bazak Zog... something or other. Don't care, really. So long as we get our gold. 800 gold dragons for capturing him.
That's a fucking
Lucky we caught him
shitload
trying
of money.
to flee Yunkai.
Lucky for us. Not so lucky for him.
Gold Dragon is like
We should find more former slave masters with bounties
a
on their
peasant.
heads.
I don't need any more naked
Maybe.
fat men in my life, thank you.
They say only
Salary
the
every
poor know how to
decade?
really spend money. We'll buy the finest wines, the best whores, sleep in a bed without fleas. Sounds nice, doesn't it?
We've not been paid yet, Beskar. Can't spend dragons you don't have.
We'll have them soon enough. My point is, with enough coin, we could do anything. Go anywhere.
I could afford passage back to Westeros. To Ironrath. I've heard nothing from my family in years.
You mean go home? They treated you like shit there. Kicked you out because you fell in love with a girl from the wrong damn house.
Gwyn.
A man doesn't choose who he loves. Your family should understand that.
On love with the Lord of Sunlight.
Westeros and its bloody houses. Who fucking cares?
They're still my family. My brothers and sisters. They had nothing to do with it.
What's left of them?
I suppose that's true. Just remember, we have a good thing here. And any moment now, we're gonna be rich.
Yeah, right. Because they're totally gonna get that money.
Let's make a toast. To all of us deadly bastards.
To us.
Aye, to us.
Yeah, my brother, singular.
You're not that drunk, are you?
Sorry.
There's any way for them to introduce that.
Beskar, I thought freed slaves put the bounty on Bazak.
They did. With his own gold.
So
Awkward failure to attempt.
Here?
They need to
that
teach you the new
Tazal
mechanic before
from the
there's
Volantis job?
consequences for it.
Maybe he's forgotten about that.
You! I told you if I saw you again,
Tazal! Isn't it funny how life brings old friends together?
I'd cut your fucking throats!
Tavern's closed. What you doing here?
Where is he?
Where's who?
Here. 400 dragons.
They
Supposed
must
to
be
be
working
800.
for the wise masters.
And that's all you're getting.
The bounty is 800.
You get 4. It's more than you deserve.
Give us
Should've just taken it.
Can have him.
Don't be an asshole now. We're all sellswords here.
We are nothing like you. The Lost Legion are the blood of all Valyria. And we are done taking orders from whimpering pigs.
Well, so much for that.
And we're done with you too.
Tazal, what the hell have you done?
You two are going to be useful to me for once.
Not bloody likely.
The wise masters will hear how Asher Forrester kidnapped the venerable Bezak. How he wouldn't take less than 800 gold dragons. So he killed Bezak instead. Me?
Should have just taken the 400.
We were there.
I thought about it.
Swift
I wanted to have a
justice.
quick comment, like, oh, it was supposed to be 800.
And we get the blame.
Ponteos en as. Pojos me nomi jahos sokisikas.
All right, who dies first? Who wants to dance on the end of my sword?
Kill them now!
Nice.
Now that's more like it.
Here's one.
I like that he has that axe. It's pretty cool. Well, missed that one. Well, that was why.
To be dour.
Thanks.
You owe me one.
Nice.
Shit.
Have you chopped down trees in the Minecraft game? That's funny.
This is for Volantis.
Beska!
Fuck you, Asher.
Fazal! Koste vakitis. Poblentis. Ilimbonios.
Nice. That was actually pretty cool. It's pretty well choreographed.
You know what this reminds me of?
Fits the show's action style.
You kill me, and the Lost Legion won't stop.
We're definitely not getting that money.
To Saul! Kill them both!
Hey, it's Malcolm! We sent him here. Now, my guess is this scene doesn't happen at all if you don't send him.
Who the fuck is he?
My uncle. Tazal? Fuck.
More on their way.
We need to go.
Come on.
Malcolm.
Damn.
We have to keep moving.
Malcolm, stop.
Asher, I'm glad I found you, my boy. It's been far too long.
What are you doing here?
Your brother Ethan sent me. I'm here to bring you home.
Sure got that money. Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones. I bet. Been doing the shifting perspectives in this is really, really good. Glad they chose to do that. Yeah, right, Leon. No, I feel like this is actually fairly precise. I don't know if that's true of all the Telltale games, but the scenes are only in exactly as long as they need to be, and they don't seem to draw anything out. Something the show actually kind of fails at in the later seasons. It's pretty cool. Oh, Rodrik's not dead! That's cool. I like it.
Damn foresters. That is so fucking far away.
It's your dad. Yep. This is a really cool setting for the opening of this guy's story. Bring out your dead! Not dead yet.
That's far enough.
We'll be suited up.
I've come from the twins bearing the dead of House Forrester. Lordly types from the looks of them.
All right, we'll take them.
Well, they're not free, are they? How much are you paying for them?
Sir Royland.
You again. Who you got this time? Some poor peasant dressed up like a lord. A stable boy in Bannerman's clothes. You did this at Duskendale. And you have the fucking stones to try it again.
No,
This house has suffered the loss of many good men. And you dare come here claiming to have fought Leave. Now.
Fine. I'll dump them in the river then.
You come back here again, you won't be leaving. You got that?
Aye, I heard you. Lousy sheep fucker.
I'm sorry, sir.
Don't worry yourself.
7 hours.
What is it, sir?
This one's still alive. You there? Who are you?
It's me, your lord.
It's me. Rodrik.
Rodrik? Rodrik? Oh, the gods, it is you.
Oh, I wonder if he's paralyzed.
Fetch the maester, hurry!
Fetch the maester!
Rodrik!
It's so cool. I like it. Now, this makes a lot of good decisions. I'm actually really curious to know why the Metacritic score is so low. I'm guessing it's Telltale fatigue. That would be my guess. Having not played a lot of the games but heard about it before.
My lord, you should not be awake.
Give me more of that milk of the poppy.
The milk of the poppy.
Hey! Yeah, refuse it.
Rodrik!
My lady, I am at a very delicate moment in the surgery.
Please, I want to see my son.
Let him. Sir, my lady, I must insist that you leave.
No. Rodrik, what have they done to you?
These wounds would have killed any other man. As it is, he may never walk again.
No, I actually enjoy the lack of gameplay. I think that it's...
Rodrik?
Gameplay is almost,
Drank the milk of the poppy. Please don't leave me. Not yet.
It almost intrudes on what they're trying to do here. This sort of game. It's like the opposite of that stupid puzzle from Kingdom Hearts 2 yesterday, right? The level with Cogsworth. It's like, we need the player to do something just to justify this existing. Your choice not to do that. In the last chapter, there was just the one combat sequence at the very beginning, and that was it.
Morning, Talia. Good to see you again.
Rodrik, thank the gods. Brother, I thought I lost you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you.
Come here, sister.
How bad is it? Maester Tengrin says your leg may never fully heal.
Cool.
And your face.
With the crippled, scarred lord.
These wounds will heal, Talia.
I know. You'll be your old self before we know it. Rodrik, there's something you need to know. Ethan is dead.
Ethan?
Bruce Bolton's bastard came here and threatened to take me away. Ethan offered to go in my place. And that monster put a blade through his throat. Like it was nothing.
Surprised he did that, and then didn't take her also.
How could this happen to him?
Are you gonna be alright?
There doesn't seem to be any conservation of bad shit, zero-sum bad shit law in the Game of Thrones universe. At least not in the TV show.
Father. And now Mother wants me to write this song for the funeral. I can't.
Then don't write it. Mother will understand.
It's been chaos here since he died. We have White Hill soldiers stationed in our courtyard. Even the small folk don't feel safe. You need to show everyone who this house belongs to.
I will do what I must to preserve House Forrester.
I don't mean to put unwanted pressure on you. I just...
It's all right.
I know you still need time to heal, but...
I'll be fine, Talia.
The council's meeting in the Great Hall right now, actually. Nobody expects you there, but if you think you're ready...
I want to go.
Can you even stand? They could use your leadership. But if you're not ready...
Only one way to find out.
I missed you, brother.
Thanks.
You can do this, Rodrik.
Probably shouldn't, though.
I know you can.
What? Give me a wheelchair. No. I need a Hodor.
Rodrik!
I'm fine. Why'd you do that?
I won't let anyone see you like this. Not when the house appears so weak already.
I was rolled in on a corpse, Cat. The damage is done.
But you're the lord of the house now. You must appear strong, solid. You can't do that on the floor. It's a long way to the Great Hall. We can't
I actually think that
falling where others can see.
Life is Strange worked really well due to the lack
Take
of
my hand.
QTs and gameplay.
Thank you, Talia.
Ready? That's it.
That's substitute for Hodor. No, is it good, Gamer?
I'm so glad to see you up. Though, I think you'll find that much has changed.
I guess you had like art objects to interact with, so pretty few of those in this. Right. It's basically a movie.
Total black. So this is the seat of the Night's Watch. The wall. Always wanted to see it, but not like this.
Apparently, Gurm had a scale issue and made the wall way too big. He did not need it to be that huge. Alright, pig farmer. Who made Beyond Two Souls? What studio?
Your arrival, is it?
Another one for Frostfinger.
On a horse, no less.
Yeah, with how huge it is, completely impossible. Right. It's one of the most fantastic things in the setting. The setting's actually pretty low magic.
Looks like it was built by giants, doesn't it? You're new, here to take the black. Because you got that look about you.
Aye, I am.
Thought so. I'm new here myself. Frostfinger, he's the one you want. Handles all new recruits.
Which one's
Frostfinger? Okay.
That grizzled old prune.
I knew about Heavy Rain, Detroit,
Says
and Indigo Prophecy.
are all
Not
dead men. But don't
that
let
game.
him scare you. That's just his way. You seem nice. That's not so good round here.
You fight like a girl. A wildling girl, maybe. Lucky.
What's in these barrels?
It's
Yeah,
pitch.
right.
Dump it off the wall and it'll burn the wildlings down to their fucking bones.
I mean, maybe in the tunnel?
Huh. It's warm.
That seems like a plant. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Detroit. Should add that onto my wish list. Cat and Donovan actually bought it and played through it.
You recruits. You come, you train, you fight, you die.
So he's Schmalister.
Boy.
They don't have, or Alistair Thorn.
I was a squire. I served Lord Forrester of Ironrath.
A squire from Ironrath. And how does a squire get himself sent to the wall? You a thief. A raper. You abandon your post.
I killed a man who murdered my family.
Then you know how to fight, at least. And you're no liar, either, Gared Tuttle.
How do you know my name?
A raven.
From Duncan Tuttle, Castellan of House Forrester.
My uncle
Tuttle's
was to the Night's Watch.
He goes on.
He shouldn't have a surname though.
Then he
I
asks
don't
us
think.
to make you a ranger.
I guess Duncan's a
As if it's
knight.
a knighthood.
You can get a
So you
surname
see,
like that.
Tuttle, I know all about you.
Tuttle is Paranormal Echo's surname.
You are a killer. Even if you are man enough to own up to it.
If you say so.
I do. Now then, we'll start your training in the morning. For today, you need a cot and a cloak.
Understood.
Generally a really big fan of Gurm's world names. The Land of Always Winter.
Be your death.
The
When
Wall.
it comes, try
King's
to make it
Landing.
quick.
Easy to follow. Most of the rougher places to keep track of are in Essos.
And last we'd heard, Asher was in
Heavy Rain
Slaver's
was
Bay,
recently free.
So Malcolm caught a ship headed
Heavy Rain's
for...
really good. It's been a while since I played it. I haven't played
They
Indigo
give us
Prophecy or
month-old
Detroit.
bread. Ugh, there's fucking worms in it.
Lord Whitehill is about this.
We
Oh,
should
nice.
just take what we need. I'd rather die.
The Whitehill soldiers always seem to be angry, and we have too few men to handle them.
Let's
I
just
like
get to
the
the Great Hall.
perfect ending of Heavy Rain. It kind of makes fun of you for playing it perfectly. Like, I would reload whenever something bad happened.
You know what else? No fucking wine.
And the ending you get for doing that is
There
like
must be wine in the cellars.
almost making fun of you for doing
Dagor's
that.
locked him up tight, just like his own cunt.
He has
I like
no...
the slow walk and everybody looking at me.
Is that him?
It doesn't know you
Has to
reload,
be,
but it's almost impossible to get everything right unless if you cheat like that.
He's hideous.
So it doesn't call that into account.
Had a run-in with Walder
And he's
Frey,
leaning on a
didn't ya?
girl.
Should have buried him with the corpses.
Those are being unnecessarily cruel.
Gives a toss.
Don't let go of
Their
your
lord
sister
should
now.
want their...
What a disgrace to...
Oh no, these are the Whitehills being dicks. That makes more sense. Okay. Took me a second. They have those helmets.
We have business in the Great Hall.
I have a pizza to cut.
You don't want to test me. Is that right? Because you look pretty sad to me. I wonder what's weaker. Your legs? Or this house?
My men may be few, but they'll die before you keep me from my hall.
Yeah, I agree, sir. I think that's a unique problem of the show. The book seems to land that much better. The show kind of has this weird torture porn element, where like sometimes it does things that are bad just for the sake of doing it, not because it serves the story. Like, even though there are surprising deaths in the books, they almost always happen once a character has served their purpose. And you might not realize that they served their purpose and their arc was complete until it happens.
If they riot, we'll fight.
That's foolishness.
It doesn't matter what you
Yeah,
think.
right,
It's
sir.
my decision as Sentinel.
My lords.
It might be a TV shortcut to make it easier for the viewer to keep track of who they should be cheering for. If I can pause here. This is a pretty common issue. They actually mentioned it. I've seen it in a couple criticism videos online, like that really good Foldable Human Suicide Squad editing video, that like it's unfortunate, but it's really hard to do shades of gray in TV and film. You kind of have to make things a little bit more black and white, unless if you're an expert craftsman. You know, you have to be really, really good, and you have to make the whole story about being gray. And in a story like Game of Thrones, I can see that it's extra difficult for people to keep track of the Lannisters are the bad guys, unless if you make most of the Lannister soldiers assholes, and then you start to associate the red armor with the lion pauldrons as, oh shit, I should be worried. And then once you feel like you've like really rooted that idea in somebody's head, then you can start to play around with it, which I think they've done in some of the more recent seasons, where now we're seeing Lannister soldiers that are just normal human beings like they should be. But I think it's part of just the language of film that, and you kind of need to get the audience to associate certain symbols a certain way. And it's unfortunate. I think it's a disservice to the story. There's only a few filmmakers I can really think of that are able to toe that line and get the audience to kind of keep track of what's happening. I'm trying to think if that's true for video games. I can't really think of a video game equivalent of like A Song of Ice and Fire or Star Wars or anything like that, where it's easy to keep track of who are the good guys and who are the bad guys, or a different game that has it be a lot more subtle. I guess maybe Final Fantasy Tactics, the first game, is an immensely confusing game. I think because it plays out and is written very similarly to the Song of Ice and Fire books. Like, there really aren't good guys and bad guys, with a few very mild exceptions, and there are characters who sometimes make good decisions and bad decisions. And I think I've played Final Fantasy Tactics 5 times, and I still can't recite that story to you. It's very, very difficult to follow on a first, second, or even third playthrough. Sometimes you'll be in a battle, and you'll be on the opposite side from the last battle you were in, and it's kind of hard to figure out why in some cases. They did show some Stark soldiers as being scumbags, but I think they waited to do that until the late seasons, right? Or later in the first season, at least. Cersei's very nuanced in the books.
It's good. It's good to see you awake, Lord Rodrik.
We didn't expect you so soon. The Maester said it would be weeks before you were walking, if you walked again at all.
It was highly probable.
I'm not here to talk about my elf.
Perhaps we should get started.
Yes, let's.
I like how the next time on did not show Rodrik at all.
told me the state of our house.
A good way to do a
And you know our
preview.
situation is grim.
No thanks to your sentinel. He's riling up the Whitehill soldiers.
They're our bloody enemies!
You'll bring Lord Whitehill down on us, you fool.
My lord!
I agree, sir.
I'm a fool. At least I was there by Ethan's side when Ramsay
Ethan made it clear I wasn't wanted.
He needed you there. Now he's dead and Ryan's a hostage.
And what have you done to get him back? Nothing!
I am your lord.
Of course. Apologies, my lord.
The Whitehills have my brother. We fight amongst ourselves, when we should be fighting them.
We'd need an army to win that fight. And we don't have one. Not anymore.
Then find me one, Sir Royland.
That's no simple command, my lord.
Why
Most
don't
of
they
our men
just-
fled after Lord Ethan was killed, and our allies are either dead or too afraid of the Boltons to help us.
You forget the Glenmores. You'd be wed to Elaena Glenmore already if not for the war. And her
Thanks,
father
Mom.
is no coward. Now that you've returned, the marriage can proceed as planned.
No,
The marriage.
sucks for her.
Well, much has changed. The Glenmores may no longer desire the union.
Lady Elaena will decide for herself.
That doesn't make it much
Your
better, Mom.
betrothed is on her way here as we speak.
Lady Elaena?
She's coming now.
I'm not ready.
My son, I understand your doubts, but if she still wishes to marry, we'd have the allies we so desperately need.
Their army would become oath-bound to Rodrik.
Should probably give it a week or two for it to become a scar and not an open,
Yes, this marriage could be
oozing
our
wound.
chance.
Of course, we must hope Lady Elaena still wants to marry Rodrik. We're talking about a marriage, not an Ironwood contract.
Talia does have a point. I'm not the man I used to be.
You can still make her happy, Rodrik. And she can do the same for you.
If
Notice
Elaena
shellac
does come to
buttons.
Ironrath, she'll see those soldiers in the courtyard.
No, Yukupo. So what happened was, it was actually really cool. Episode 2 started with a Bring Out Your Dead sequence where Rodrik was on a corpse cart. He didn't actually die in the opening scene, he just got mortally wounded, and he like slips off the cart when they arrived in town.
We starve them out,
Kept the
and they'll have
maggots.
to leave.
I'd rather they be lying around drunk than setting the stables on fire.
My lord, perhaps you could put an end to this tiresome dispute.
Let them go hungry.
Yes, my lord.
Don't look so happy
there's
about
nothing
it.
more to discuss.
Maester, it's time to light the Ironwood torches.
Got stabbed pretty
Yes,
bad too,
my
didn't he?
Welcome back, my lord.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, hair rubbing up in the open wound. Oof.
Gregor last lit these torches when his mother passed. Ironwood doesn't burn easily, he told me. But foresters have a way.
I really like
Now we light them for him.
that resurrection of Rodrik was fantastic. I complain about resurrection constantly on this stream, but
How is your song coming?
it wasn't really a resurrection, it was
Ethan always helps with
reasonable,
music.
and it had
not the
significant
same
consequences
battle.
for him as a character, right?
I can help you with it.
That's all right. The last time you sang, all the dogs in the kennel started howling. But thank you.
It's almost
Everyone
worse for
knows
him
how
that he's
much
alive.
Ethan meant to you. I'm sure it will honor him well.
Zombie Ethan for episode 3. It's also a tool you have to be very careful using.
About Elaena, I've sent.
It's actually something that bums me out about the show.
Tyrells hold much influence over the Glenmores.
There's a lot of foreshadowing in the books that resurrection is bad. That if you do get resurrected, it leaves you much worse for wear and not the same person that comes back. And they do a resurrection thing in the show. It's almost certainly going to happen in the books. Nothing has been more foreshadowed than that. And they seem to have just been like, yeah, whatever, he's back. There's no consequences. He's the same dude. Yeah, I agree, Leon. And also, props to the preview, the preview scene on the next episode of. I was really worried when it said on the next episode. I'm like, God damn it, don't spoil the next thing. But all they were able to do is to say, hey, here's a summary of what your choices were, and still hid some stuff. I think deceptive trailers are fantastic. They almost make it better than not watching the trailer at all.
Lady Marjorie,
the debates about Stoneheart.
Your sister can find a way to help.
It's fine, Rigger. We can try to be careful-ish about it, but I said we were going to open it up to later seasons and books since I've watched and read all of them.
It's entirely ridiculous. If it's not the flowers,
hey, thanks for the auto host, people.
The table settings.
The stuff with Stoneheart, it's kind of like the Tom Bombadil. I'm going to keep pausing to talk about this. It's like the Tom Bombadil of the show, but part of the reason it was frustrating is because they have actually done some foreshadowing of it in the show, and there have been a couple season enders where the title of the episode strongly suggests Lady Stoneheart. Like there's the one that ends, it's called Mother. Anyway, like we used to joke in our watch group back in Columbus, Ohio and in California that one day they're going to end a season and have the episode titled Lady Stoneheart and she won't appear in it. But something that I've noticed about the show is they very clearly write the show season to season. They do not plan ahead. It only appeared that they were planning ahead in the early seasons because there was, written material for them to work from. But you can see, for example, there's a sequence in season 4 or something where Sansa dyes her hair black because that's what happens in the books. And then in the very next season, they don't have something for Sansa to do anymore because the books aren't that far. And they basically immediately discard the dyed her hair black plot because they weren't thinking about what they were going to do in the next season and the previous season. And you can see clues of that all over the place in the show, that they're making it up as they go along season to season.
Is that the
hey,
letter
Zlua,
to the
how you doing?
orphanage?
Yes, milady. It's nearly done.
That's fine, Raker.
Make sure to tell them we'll send all the leftovers. And something nice after that.
We will make a sizable donation in the name of King Joffrey.
A little presumptuous of you, Mira.
Just a
bit. I like it. They'll be very grateful.
Hey, I got a Natalie Dormer smirk. Worth it. Oh, we can talk about that, Raker. I basically just mentioned it very explicitly. The books are heavily foreshadowing that's going to happen. If it doesn't happen in the show, I will be shocked.
To send, or are we finally
He's talking about the Jon Snow thing.
One more. An invitation to Sir Maynard.
They just did it with no consequences,
yes.
Which is why it's
One of my
frustrating.
father's favorite drinking companions.
I have a letter for Lady Mira Forrester.
Thank you.
Thanks, Callboy.
My pleasure, Lady Mira.
What is it, Mira?
It's from my mother. She asked that I
feel like
ensure Rodrik's
the Lightning
betrothal to
Lord
Elaena Glenmore remain intact.
Exists to be foreshadowing of the Jon Snow thing.
Leagues away.
And all of his story is about how he's not the same person anymore and he's lost his humanity.
It's my help she's after, isn't it?
Basically like a hollow.
She's a bold woman. Most would shy away from asking such things.
Yeah, and like their arms.
Forgive my mother. She doesn't see the harm in what she does.
She's not entirely wrong. A letter from me could encourage the Glenmores to honor the betrothal. But it wouldn't be very discreet. You'd be forcing their hand.
And she grabbed the seal that I didn't take.
That isn't the way I do things. You pushed me before and you saw the results. I'm sure your brother can secure the marriage on his own.
I really like the faces in this game. I wish they would have leaned into the stylized
Mira,
approach for everything.
later.
It kind of just looks like a not so great artistic filter instead of being something they did on purpose. Yeah, right. So I think D&D, Benioff and Weiss are masters of adaptation. Very, very good at adapting already written works, and we can see that in the early seasons, but once they're in the wilderness, making shit up as they go along, and with a cast that has been spending too much time on it. Not gonna do Natalie Dormer like that.
Sir Maynard, you are hereby invited.
Mira, Lady Marjorie sent me to pick up the letters. Sir Maynard. The man's breath smells like a brew house. I was hoping I'd catch you at something slightly more exciting. A love letter, perhaps? Or a declaration of war? I know you're very busy with Lady Marjorie and all that's happening with your family. But I was hoping we could talk. If you don't mind.
Go ahead then.
Well, we really should get these letters sent first. Do you need any help with those?
I've got them.
Bloody cold today, isn't it? Seems to keep getting colder. They say it'll be a short autumn.
Oi, fuckhead.
What's up?
You might be new here, but you're in my spot. So move. I think we'll get along fine.
Most of you will be dead within the
Easy enough.
Frostfinger and his bloody speeches.
If you want to survive in the Night's Watch, listen close.
You know why I got sent to the wall?
The wall was erected over 8,000 years ago to defend the realm from wildlings, White Walkers.
Had this girl I used to fuck now and again. Face like a queen, tits like a whore. Turned out she was married to some lord.
Fast traveled.
He tried to stick me with this. I stuck it in him instead.
Shut up for once, will you?
What's your problem?
The retrieve a white plot in the most recent season
And what dire crime are you here for?
is like the worst thing in almost any show ever.
You fuck potatoes? What? No! I stole them. That's what got me sent to the wall.
Nobody cares, thief.
Don't call me that. My name's Cutter.
Cutter the potato fucker.
Gurm's not going to finish the books. It's not going to happen.
My sister was hungry.
I've got something for your sister.
Don't fucking talk about my sister, alright?
And something for you, too.
Who in seven hells is talking back there?
Yeah, the visuals are very good.
Tuttle. Who was it?
These two were arguing.
Not wise to point the finger at your new brothers, Tuttle.
Whoops.
Gared Tuttle here wants to be a ranger. So we can go north of the wall and die on some wildling spear. But what he wants doesn't mean shit. So today you're all gonna show me what you're made of. Can you swing a sword? Shoot a bow? Are you strong? Those who do well might just survive. The rest of you...
Frostfinger. I need
Hey,
a word.
it's Kit Harington. What a Tuttle
Get
tale.
started.
Best of luck, Tuttle.
Matt, is that getting your attention at all? I've played a couple games where the character's name is Dylan. Never heard my last name, though.
Here we go.
Again. Who's up?
See those dummies? Those are thens.
Hey, Birdie.
Your brains for breakfast. Not bad.
Castle Black. So this is home now.
Pet the horse. Alright. Game is playable.
I said hit the chest, not the bloody wall.
You're doing that all wrong.
But we don't have these where I...
Oh, Jesus.
Man's ready to shit himself when he sees you coming.
Let me show you.
And I immediately fuck it up and shoot it through my own shoe.
Alright, let's see if you can aim worth a wildling's arse. Shoot the targets I tell you to. Let's start easy. Middle dummy, center of the chest. You can follow orders at least. Next bolt. Left target, head. Good. Right target, chest. Not bad. Center,
Shoot him.
between the eyes. One less wildling. You hit all of them. Nicely done.
Thanks. It's Pouty Face. Mr. Angstmaster, please. You can't.
Finn thinks he's so bloody clever. If a real wildling got his hands on him...
He's just a bully.
Aye, he is. That's why I took this. Swiped it right off him. Don't tell, alright? I don't think he'd take it kindly.
No, right? Given the show and the books are really into talking about the danger of, like, wounds festering, right?
Oh, it's bloody cold up here.
I love, so if you're still watching, if you started at the beginning of the stream and a couple people said they hadn't watched Game of Thrones or read the books. Like, the premise of the books is that there was a legendary promised hero that was supposed to save the world, and before the books even start, he dies. And Gurm wanted to ask, what would happen if we looked at the fallout of that world?
See if you can carry one of these barrels over to the witch.
Right. I can do this.
Tell him.
Want some help? Don't hurt yourself, Tuttle. I'm thinking steward for you. You can help Frostfinger wash his cock.
No, it's not just the Azor Ahai thing. So the story is there's this guy, Prince Rhaegar, and he's supposed to be the perfect king. He's smart, he's talented, he's wise, he's diplomatic, he's a great warrior. He's gonna save the world. Everything is looking up Millhouse for Rhaegar. And then Rhaegar dies. This happens right before the books start. And this other guy who himself styles himself to be the hero, Robert Baratheon, who is also a great warrior, becomes king. But he also wanted to explore, like, okay, there's all these fantasy stories where the big warrior, the big hero, goes and saves the princess and becomes king. Like, why would he be a good king? What makes a warrior a good king? And then Robert ends up being a terrible king. And we explore he's really into fantasy trope subversion is where a lot of it comes from. I think he started with the question of, you'll read some of the writings from Gurm and he'll say that he really likes J.R.R. Tolkien and he loves Lord of the Rings. But Lord of the Rings ends, and it says, and then Aragorn defeated the orcs and he was a great king for 100 years. And Gurm was saying, why? What has Aragorn showed us that suggests he would ever be a good king? Can I make a book? Can I write a story that's about those challenges? Yeah, and that's on purpose, but there's plenty of hints in the first book that Rhaegar is a good guy. Yeah.
Not bad.
What's that, Nodovan? Oh, what makes you think Aragorn would be a great king? He's raising a good point. Good question.
Feet tall and 8,000 years old.
He also really disliked Tolkien's good versus evil. Like, the orcs are just intrinsically evil, and Sauron is just intrinsically evil. Which makes the show kind of questionable, given the way that it's handling the White Walkers. Although I think in the books, the White Walkers feel a lot more like they're a natural disaster.
It's not Ironwood. Too hard to burn.
Like, I always have read the White Walkers as being a stand-in for climate change, or something similar. That there's this looming threat that requires the cooperation of everyone to even hope to weather. But people are so stuck squabbling over their Games of Thrones that they will never work together and address the issue. Would that make him a good king, though? Like, I think a really important theme of Game of Thrones is that leaders have to make really hard decisions, and they can't just be good and wise. Sometimes you have to make decisions that cause people to suffer. And there's nothing that suggests Aragorn would ever make a decision like that.
Eric?
Make a utilitarian decision.
Castellan's nephew.
What are you doing here?
Lord Ethan judged me a thief. Should have taken my fingers. Instead, he sent me to the wall. I wish he had cut him off. If he had, I'd still be home with my family.
You'd rather your hands didn't work. That's mad.
But it'd be over and done with. Fucking Foresters.
Oh, that's cool, Ricker. That was a guy that I sent to the wall in the first chapter. But can you see, like, okay, so can you see the inspiration and respect it? I get where you're coming from, that wouldn't be interesting to explore in Middle-earth, because Middle-earth is a light versus darkness universe. But it's sort of like Christopher Nolan looking at Batman and asking what kind of world, or what kind of characters would these have to be to exist in the real world, and then changing the material and being inspired in that direction. Just like how Tim Burton looked at Batman and said, what kind of world would we have to be for these characters to make sense?
Tuttle, I gave you orders. So what are you doing up here?
Sorry, sir. I'll get back to work.
Probably got frosted. Don't want to talk to him about the North Grove. I'm not supposed to talk to anybody about that except my Uncle Duncan. I'm gonna let him move down this way yet, right?
Can't wander off now. Not with Frostfinger watching.
Stairs. Oh, here we go. Missing the sword rack earlier.
Take that! Take that! Watch your bloody tongue!
You, grab a practice sword.
Okay.
This one should do.
I'll be sparring with you today. Remember, these blades are dulled, but a sword's still a sword. Good luck. Come on, keep at it.
He's like Corrin Halfhand and Alistair Thorne had a baby.
Well fought.
Mistborn Book 2 is about how revolutionaries don't make good rulers.
You got lucky.
Gurm was inspired by the lack of exploration of the realities of politics, which is not something that's ever explored in Tolkien's works and isn't really meant to be. It's like
a crossbow's a coward's weapon.
An epic Bible-like story.
I could hit that dummy from here with my...
More
Where is
mythology.
it? Where the fuck's my knife? If someone has it, I'll cut their fucking balls off. Come to think of it, you were the last one I showed it to. Well, you and... It was you.
What?
You little fucking thief.
It weren't me.
Finn, don't. Give me my knife.
I don't have it, I swear.
Out of my way.
Gared, do something.
Just calm down. Fight.
Silmarillion.
Step the fuck aside.
That wasn't very nice.
And how about this?
Leia Balerion.
Hey, look. Fight! Fight! Yeah, get it! There they go again.
Get him. There we go.
Get up! What is going on here?
He stole my fucking knife.
No, I didn't.
And Gared defended him.
The last thief I caught no longer has hands.
I swear I don't have it.
He must have hid it.
And you? I expected better, Tuttle. Instead, I find you doing this. On your first bloody day of training. You clearly need a few days scrubbing the latrines.
Frostfinger, I need another man atop the wall.
Fine. Let him freeze his balls off. I'll deal with this one.
Get off!
Mind your fucking manners.
I really went all out on the voice acting budget. I wonder if it was just part of their initial contracts for the show, or if they got paid extra. Yeah, Silmarillion reads like the Bible. It's very, very dense. Lord of the Rings is a bit more exciting for the most part, but I've said this before, I know not if it disagrees. Tolkien was a linguist before he was an author, and he wrote a story to show off the cool language stuff that he came up with.
Kisses your skin.
It's great. I love Lord of the
You used to
Rings.
love this place.
Quite a lot.
Remember, we'd come listen to the musicians in the evening with Lady Marjorie.
You're right. It's beautiful here.
They're not
Just through
poorly
here.
written or anything. It's just
What
it's
are
a
you
very
doing?
fantastical story.
You'll see.
I think the fact that he got so
Princess's
offended by all the
finest
implications that the story was allegorical suggests that he was inspired by World War II.
Come on, sit down.
Where did you get that?
I know a boy who keeps the Queen's cellar well stocked. Nobody will miss it, I assure you.
I'm shocked that this one has all the original acts. Some of them are really expensive, like Natalie Dormer.
A little won't hurt.
Peter Dinklage and Lena Headey
Suit yourself,
especially.
then. So,
Yeah, we were talking about that, Donovan, that it's a very light versus darkness world. You're thinking of C.S. Lewis, Chronicles of Narnia, sir. Which is funny, because Tolkien actually converted Lewis to Christianity, and he claimed to hate allegory.
I'm not very good at this sort of thing.
And then C.S. Lewis wrote Chronicles of Narnia, which is
If I
pretty
tell you
straight
this,
allegory.
Mira, you must promise to keep it to yourself. You can tell no one. I want to trust you, but I need you to promise.
Sarah, just tell me.
All right. Fine. Just, please, keep it a secret.
He wrote a couple treatises, Tolkien did, about how he hated allegory, and he hated people suggesting that Lord of the Rings was allegorical.
Lady Elaena for many years. She became pregnant. It was a disgrace to her family.
My true name is Sarah Flowers.
She's a bastard.
Yes. I'm fortunate to be where I am, I know that. But I always have to hide. I don't want to hide from you as well.
What happened to your mother?
Lady Elaena asked no questions. She took care of my mother. And when I was born, she gave me the name Durwell. My mother died not long after.
Who else knows about this?
Lady Marjorie, her grandmother.
Sorry, we're going to trivia tonight.
And now
Trying to
you.
let folks know.
It's just... I don't want to be Sarah Flowers forever. I need Lady Marjorie to arrange a marriage for me. It's my chance at a life.
Did you have someone in mind? Someone you'd wish to marry?
I'd have to convince Lady Marjorie to make an introduction first. I know she often confides in you, and I was hoping that maybe sometime when she comes to you wanting to talk, you might suggest she talk to me instead. Give
Yeah,
me
I'm
a
fighting
chance
for
to win her
the
over.
survival of my
Coming
house.
from you, it's sure to mean a lot. Please, Mira. I understand if you can't commit to anything. I know your family's troubles are much greater than mine.
No kidding.
What happened to your brother and your father? You sure you won't have any? You look like you could use a drink.
Thanks. Tyrion will have some.
A conspiracy of handmaidens.
Lord Tyrion, my lord.
Ladies, what have we here? If you mean to drink from that flagon, you're going about it the wrong way.
Care to join us, Lord Tyrion?
Not the finest arbor red, but a favorite of my sister's.
Kitties,
quite
calm down.
expensive for a handmaiden.
I drink
I'd
and
be
I know
curious
things.
to know how you got hold of it. Since I'm certain my sister didn't give it to you, she won't even share with me. Though that's hardly surprising.
We found it.
Found it? Where?
In that bush. Lord Tyrion.
Strange it should find its way into a bush. If Cersei knew you had this wine, she'd drown you in it. You must know what risks are worth taking, especially if you wish to have an alliance with me. Things have changed. My father has recently taken an interest in Ironwood. Most of
I
the
hope they
world
got
lives
Charles
lit up in
Dance.
green flames.
I miss him.
It must be rebuilt. He insisted I handle things myself.
The
I'm
death
on
of
my way
Tywin
to
was
meet
correct,
representatives
but
of Lord
damn did
Whitehill.
it rob the show of
Lord
one of its best
Whitehill.
characters, and the book even.
He's hired a pair of merchant lords to broker for his house.
Charles
It would
Dance.
seem Lord Whitehill wishes to sell the Ironwood right out from beneath your family. I don't know much about the man, but judging by his up-jumped sellswords...
I will speak for House Forrester.
Perhaps you could. Come with me. These men think I have no choice but to deal with them. Imagine their surprise when I bring up
Charles Dance was the bad guy in
it might be the
Last
first
Action
fun
Hero.
I've had in months.
Yeah, it's a really good adaptation, season 1. It changes a couple things. It adds some new things, some new POVs. I feel like D&D's main strength, aside from adaptation, is understanding characters and having scenes that basically write themselves between two characters. Well, they'll say, "Hey, if we just take Varys and the Queen of Thorns and put them together, what would that look like?" And it just happens effortlessly for
Who is
them.
this? Some girl you've brought for entertainment?
She's a lady, Lord Andros. That much is clear.
My name is Mira Forrester.
He's the Emperor in The Witcher. That's awesome. It's not so much that it's derivative.
Forrester.
I think it's mostly Gurm's fault. Like, Gurm released Dance with Dragons when season 1 came out, and it seemed reasonable that he could finish the series and be ahead of the show. The fact that the show is about to finish and he's still not done with Winds of Winter is awful. So they have good reason to be pissed about that. The other issue is a logistical one of the actors having been committed to the show for 8 years. They all have burgeoning careers and they want to move on from it. Clearly they've been contracted to do stuff like these video games and other side appearances that they're probably not terribly interested in. So it creates an extra time pressure on them. So I think it's one of those... I don't think they could have done it well, to be honest. I mean, maybe they brought in Vince Gilligan or something, but it's just too big of a project with the time constraints they had and the lack of source material to follow. Anyway.
Why are you here?
A fair question.
We were told we would be speaking to Lord Tyrion alone. This is no place for a Forrester.
I'm here to sell our ironwood, my lord.
Oh, really?
Andros. I'm sorry, Lady Mira, but we've already spoken to Lord
You
Tyrion.
spoke, I listened. Lady Mira has since persuaded me to consider her offer first. Now, if you'll excuse us...
You're going to dismiss
You can't do this.
I assure you I can.
This is a mistake, my lord.
I don't think so.
Lord Whitehill will hear of this. He's not a man to take such matters lightly. Nor am I.
Let's just stare him down.
Tyrion.
Lord Tyrion, do let me know when you've come to a decision. I'd like the opportunity to change your mind.
I keep wanting to type rather than talk so as not to talk over the voice acting, but the game requires just a little bit too much interaction for me to start typing and put the controller down.
That was fun. Now, as for your offer, what did you have in mind?
My lord?
I'm ready.
The Crown's ironwood. I assume you have a proposition? You had a reason for coming here.
I actually didn't think of anything.
I know it wasn't just to entertain me.
Help me stop the Whitehills.
Well, the quickest way to strangle your enemy is with his own purse strings. Say the Crown agrees to buy ironwood solely from you. Lord Whitehill will be left in the cold. If he wishes to sell to the Crown, he'll have to do so through your family. You will have him at your mercy. Or you'll bring your houses to open war. You do know that's a possibility, don't you?
With you as a partner, that won't happen.
As Master of Coin, I can do many things, but sending an army to the north is not one of them.
They're super pissed.
However, I know your house needs this.
As is their way. They are soft.
I'll consider the arrangement. Of course, you'd have to do something for me in return. Don't worry. The terms will be fair.
What is it you want?
You'll know soon enough.
That's not soon
We
enough.
have an understanding then.
Thank you, my lord.
This will either be very good for both of us, or very bad for you. For your sake, I hope it's the former.
Yeah, me too.
My lady.
Hey, it's back to not Jorah. Shmajora. Jorah the Explorer. Right. Majora's Mask.
They were headed for the main gate.
I know another way.
Forester Exile.
You coming with us then?
Asher.
If you're to save your house, you'll need more than the two of us at your side. You'll need an army.
That's why you're here, isn't it?
Come with
To
me
hire
back
one.
to Westeros, Tess.
An army of sellswords.
And a man to lead them. Do you hear what I'm saying, boy?
Beskha can lead them.
What?
She's stronger than most knights in Westeros.
This is your fight, Asher. Your family.
None of that matters without sellswords to hire, and all the companies around here are engaged.
What about Croft?
One-eyed Croft, with the second sons. They're all with the Targaryen girl now.
But Croft owes me a favor.
I'm pretty sure he hates you, actually.
No. He'll help us. I'll make sure of it.
And how are you going to do that? We didn't part on the best of terms.
I'll be charming.
Right.
Well, this mother of dragons and her sellswords are headed north, so we make for Marine.
Oh god, not Marine.
Marine? Shit.
What?
Everybody goes there and it takes them forever.
Unfinished business there. I don't want to talk about it.
We can't afford any distractions.
It's not your problem. It'll be fine. I promise.
It's fine. I trust you, Beskha.
I shouldn't have said anything. I said I was with you, little brother.
Yeah, I really like Asher, actually. I think he's my favorite so far.
Ponte Renas.
He has some ideas that are common with other characters, like being exiled to Essos by his family, but... yeah. I like where they were going with the Ethan storyline. I love how they wrapped it up, too. Whatever the exclamation point quote is about killing kids.
Just one more we'll have to kill later.
Let's go.
You did well back there, Asher. You acted like a true leader.
You two can talk about it later.
Way to stop
We
her
need to
from
get
killing
out of
one guy.
They won't stop looking for us.
Thanks, Malcolm.
It's a long journey to Marine on foot. I hope you're ready, Asher.
Hasn't had any gratuitous sex so far.
Guess we'll find out.
Good lad. Either we cross the narrow sea with an army at our backs, or House Forrester will not survive to see winter.
I feel like the books use sex to tell a story in most cases. There are a couple scenes where it's completely gratuitous in the show. That Skinamax thing. There's one in, it might be season 1 or 2, where Littlefinger's like looking through keyholes in a brothel. It wasn't necessary. Sometimes it's important. Fill the time with food. That's not good. Is it Spoopy Cowboy?
Everything's still here.
She's a really good, incredulous, pissed off face.
Why would someone do this?
They just came in here and broke my pot. Fabric and finances. Now that's what the Kingkiller Chronicles is going to be all about. I feel like 80% of those books are Kvothe doing coin math.
The letters from my family. What would someone want with them?
It's a really good question.
I have information that will aid you with the imp. Meet me in the gardens at midnight.
I can see that. I love Bronn. Bronn's much better in the show. He's still fun in the books, but
through Lady Elena's visit
the actor who
There's been
plays
no
him
news
is
from Mira.
pretty outstanding.
She may not have found a way to help with Elaena.
And D&D are great at writing
I pray
him.
you're right. Lord Glenmore's army could keep us from ruin. But Elaena must still agree to the marriage.
My lord, you might remind Lady Elaena that in terms of lineage, you are still very much a man.
Maester?
What I mean is,
she says my
if
dick
the two of
works.
you wanted to produce an heir, it should not be a concern. How would you know that? I just meant that since there's no obvious damage, that...
Enough, Maester. When last we spoke of Elaena, you seemed unsure how she might feel about you. You just have to show her that you're still the man she knew. I don't mean to burden you with unwanted advice, but this is an important day for all of us.
Thank you, Mother. It's advice well taken.
I'm just so glad to see you home.
That's true, Yukiko. There are scenes where Bronn is there. Bronn basically disappears in the books. So most of those scenes are show invented reasons to bring Bronn along. Especially the Dorne trip. That was just awful.
You look...
I know, I'm unspeakably handsome.
I see you haven't lost your sense of humor.
No, just two limbs and half a face. Please.
Not with Jamie, though.
So, here we are. I'm glad to see you up and about.
How have you been, Elaena?
Oh, it's been quiet, I suppose. Times have certainly been difficult, but I'm well. Thank you for asking. I set out for Ironrath as soon as I heard you were alive. My father suggested I wait, but...
I felt like they needed to give those characters something to do for this season.
Your brother's name day feast.
That's what's frustrating.
We danced until the sun came out.
That's what Last Jedi feels like. Like, we need to give these characters something to
But now
do
your house
and have a
prepares
sense
for
of
a funeral.
urgency.
And you... Tell me the truth, Rodrik. How are you, really? And please, be
Being
honest with
angsty
me.
about Cersei
I don't
and
mean
the
to pry,
Riverlands.
I won't lie. Every day's a battle.
I can only imagine. So much has changed since we were children. Playing hide and seek in the grove and...
You're so easy to find. You always hid behind the same tree.
Maybe I wanted you to find me.
Aww.
Rodrik. I need to ask you something. When I arrived at Ironrath today, your courtyard was filled with soldiers. White Hill soldiers. They seemed angry. Violent. They said some terrible things. The White Hills are your oldest enemies, Rodrik. Why are they here? Has something happened?
Trust me. They won't be here long.
That wasn't an answer. I'm going to be honest with you, Rodrik. I have always looked forward to our marriage. But in light of all that's happened to your family... My father is questioning the wisdom of our betrothal.
Ben. Oh my gosh, Ben.
He wants me to call it off.
Oh no. He just oh shit. He just marked. I use Google Inbox and he just marked all of my emails done by walking on the keyboard. Okay. Alright, I'll worry about it later. I should just leave the Twitch window open.
We can't let him do that to us.
I'm not powerless here, Rodrik. If I told him I thought this marriage was wise, he'd listen. And frankly, I'm torn. I don't care about your scars, Rodrik. I love the boy you were. I love the man you are. But my family can't get drawn into a war with the Boltons. They're the Wardens of the North. And they flay their enemies.
My house is stronger than it looks. Every one of us is fighting to survive. Even beyond Ironrath.
It's good to hear you so assured. But I have to be practical.
Are you sure about that, right? Yeah.
It doesn't matter how we feel. How can I ask my father to risk everything?
She raises a really good point.
Even for you.
Let's be practical. When we defeat the Whitehills, I'll give your father half of our Ironwood Forest.
That's worth a fortune, Rodrik.
We'll pay it to secure this alliance.
I'll need to discuss it with father, but...
Keep giving up all of our Ironwoods.
Yes.
We're gonna have nothing left.
I think this will convince him. Perhaps we'll remain allies after all.
Deepest apologies, my lord. I tried to stop him, but...
So, the rumors are true.
You have no right to just...
And if it isn't Elaena Glenmore? You're not still marrying into this wretched family?
Our houses will be joined, in fact. And we will stand
Burn them all
proudly
down.
beside them.
Can I change your mind?
I give him the White Hills
Hills
hat.
better than this cripple.
What do you want, Whitehill?
What do I want? Ask your mother. She invited me here.
That's not true. I sent a raven to Lord Whitehill about letting Brian attend the funeral. But I never expected him to barge in like this.
Oh, she practically begged me to come. Of course, I'd want the same in her position. The youngest son home to mourn his dead father and brother.
What sort of a game are you playing, Whitehill?
I just want to be certain that you know your place. Lord Ramsay ordered your family to obey my soldiers until my son Griff arrives from Harrenhal. But now I hear you're threatening them and refusing to feed them.
Oh, yeah.
It makes me start to question your obedience.
Lud, enough of this.
Fine. Let's talk this through.
How about I talk and you fucking listen? So, here's the idea. We're going to make a fresh start, you and I.
What makes him feel
Your brother
off?
Ethan called me Craven, but you're a different man entirely, aren't you?
I guess I don't see it.
So, if you want Ryan at that funeral, show Lady Elaena you respect your betters. Kneel and kiss my shiny ring.
Just do it, Rodrik.
You don't want to end up like your brother, do you?
Please. It means nothing, and we'll get to see Ryan again.
Definitely means nothing. Wacky asshole neighbor sitcom arch nemesis over the top evil bastard arms. Okay. He feels appropriate for the show, I think. But I see what you mean.
Very good. Now then, since you're a loyal subject, I'll need you to pay me a tribute. I'm taking what should have been mine in the first place. The other half of the Ironwood Forest.
You can't do that!
I know what Ramsay said. I'm saying something else. As
Definitely
of today, I harvest Ironwood from wherever the fuck I please. And you can't do a bloody thing to stop me.
Careful, Whitehill. House Glenmore backs us.
And we're backed by the Boltons. So you'll be getting flayed together.
Yeah.
Well, I have what I came for. I'll leave you to your business.
Well, that sucked. Probably should have fed the soldiers.
By the way, my men have a name for
Not
you.
threatened them.
Rodrik the Ruined. Isn't that clever?
I can't believe you would submit to him like that. I know you had your reasons, but he doesn't deserve your obedience.
I did it for Ryan.
Maybe I'd have done the same.
Yeah, so far there haven't been any bad choices in this, I think. As far as, like, there's an obvious right thing to do. I think that's what Telltale excels at, it seems like.
My lord, are you well?
I'm going to kill that man.
So, we used to joke that because Gurm's writing style got interrupted by not being able to do the flash forward, books 1 through 3, the end of chapters are always like, oh shit, oh shit, and then books 4 and 5 are just like, somebody makes a witty remark.
There's enough out here trying to kill us without trouble amongst our own.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Most Telltale games are like that. And Raker was talking earlier about how the strength is in the narrative
Frostfinger told me about you.
quality of the choice and not in the actual consequences or branching paths.
You might be right.
He said worse about me.
He's basically Alistair Thorne, but we couldn't get the voice actor?
You fought for the North with the Foresters. You were there. At the Twins.
Yes.
Yep.
I still don't understand. 3,000 men, and not one could save my brother.
Most of us weren't in the castle, to be fair.
Why didn't anyone fight back? Why didn't they rally to their king?
Nobody was expecting it. One minute we were drinking and telling jokes, and the next, the phrase cut us open.
Those cowards. Couldn't face Rob like men, so they stabbed him in the back. They couldn't even give him an honorable death. Let him die fighting.
Your brother would have won the North's freedom. He deserved to be king. He was good at it.
He was good at everything. Now the Freys command River Run, and the Boltons are wardens of the North. After what they did. It's not right.
They murdered my family. I should have been there.
I keep thinking if I'd been there, I
Just
could
like,
have done something.
I like your angst.
But chances are, I'd be dead too.
Can we be best friends?
My place is here. With the Night's Watch.
This go sulk together. Yeah. Oh man, will you be my sulking buddy? No one else here is justifiably angsty. Everyone else is like a rapist or something.
There are those here who will hate you for who you are.
Yeah.
Southerners who will call you traitor. Northerners who will call you craven. Some won't even have a reason.
I liked him in the
They'll hate you
beginning as
anyway.
this commoner
You can't do
character.
anything about it.
He's a little bit too talented, I
Trust
think.
me, I know.
Why would they hate me?
You're different than them. Most of the men are criminals, forced to take the black. You were a squire for a noble house.
I did
What
give up
happened
the
to you today
Valyrian
happened to
steel
me
sword.
More times than I can count.
Maybe
I
it had
learned
been a
there's nothing
choice. I
more
didn't have
important than having
to.
brothers you trust.
I'm just glad the whole game doesn't focus on him, right? It works when it's an occasional thing that's counterpoint to everything else.
I felt the same first
I
time
wonder if that's
saw
the
it.
problem, sir.
I heard you want to be a ranger. Why?
Like, I wonder if the... I'm gonna pause for a sec. I wonder if the problem is that so much fantasy is about commoners rising up to be king or whatever, and it's so overdone, and, like, it's almost impossible to write well, because the fact that we're following a character as a POV implies that they must be important, right? Which is one of the things that Game of Thrones actually does pretty well, even though it doesn't generally follow commoners. It tricks you into thinking someone's important from the number of POVs they get, and then, shit, they're dead. Yeah, it's like, I wonder if that's why this series is successful, because it focuses on people that are already noble, that are already clearly important. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I'm pretty surprised by it as well. Enjoying it so far. Because winter's coming.
I want to protect House Forrester.
You'll protect them by doing your duty here. Not many recruits want to be rangers. They'd rather stay here where they think they'll be warm and safe.
I think he's 100% going to get revived, but I hope he comes back as a weird shadow of himself. There's also a shitload of foreshadowing about him, about Rorging in Dance of Dragons.
They won't like you, but they're your brothers now. Can you stand with them?
Doesn't make sense unless if it's planting for something with John.
Past your differences.
I'll stand with them.
Glad to hear it.
Come back as a heartless and a nobody.
I'd say you'll get used to the cold, but you won't.
Jonks.
Come on. Better get by a fire, or you'll end up like Frostfinger.
J-Nox. Yeah, and Jocks. I think the only reason this one feels off is because we've seen some other main series characters, right? Like, the girl in King's Landing is clearly subordinate to Marjorie, Tyrell, Tyrion, and Cersei. But for whatever reason, they're trying to make Gared seem like he's important there.
I'm here, but where are you?
Is it Cole Kid? Is it Varys, who's probably Cole Kid's boss? About to find out. Should start playing the guard sneaking music from Ocarina of Time. Yeah. Right. Well, I think it feels...
You're going? At this time of night.
I was just headed back to my room.
It's a little late to be out, isn't it? Do you know what this uniform means?
You're a
It
Lannister?
means you serve the Lannisters.
So, you best get yourself back to your chambers. And I mean, now. If you don't like it, you can take it up with the commander.
Is there no way I can change your mind?
Did you not hear me?
At ease, Lucan. The lady is with me.
Yes, sir. Enjoy your night.
I hope he wasn't bothering you, my lady. I'm Damien.
You were in the throne room earlier. Did you leave me this note?
I did. I'm very glad you could make it. I've been wanting to talk to you for quite some time.
Did you search my room? What were you looking for?
Nothing, Lady Mira. I only wish to leave you a note. I am sorry about this, Mira, but you've made enemies of the wrong people. A handmaiden should know her place.
What people?
I'll make this quick if that helps. I'd hate to see you suffer.
I muted myself, not expecting any combat in this sequence. Thinking I could type in chat again. My bad. Hey, thanks, Coal Boy. Save the Coal Boy. Nice. In the books, it works pretty well. She continues to hide it, that she's Cersei Baratheon, but the show pivots immediately. It's only happened once, and you die in this game. It says Valar Morghulis, and you died font.
What was that?
What does it look like? He tried to kill me!
Why would he do that?
Yeah, that was the right choice.
What are you doing here?
I heard yelling. You did what you had to do, Lady Mira.
I had to save Coal
I
Boy.
need to get back. Someone might see me.
I'll take care of you. I know a few places in Fleetwood.
Okay, he's totally a Varys spy.
Everything all right, sir? Damien, where are you?
Is that the best choice, keeping the knife? I don't know, maybe not. Probably shouldn't have made the sacrifice so that a kid could come to the funeral. He's kind of a shit kid anyway.
Rodrik!
I really like the end of episode 1. That was really
It's
good.
you. Isn't it? Rodrik. They said you were gone.
I was, and I got corpse carded.
Ramsay Snow did this. He did that to Ethan. You're going to hurt him, aren't you? Lord Whitehouse says you won't, because you're a coward. But I know you will. He deserves it.
I'm gonna kill Ramsay Snow for what he did.
That's enough.
That's not what I wanted to say. I say I will avenge him.
Your little chat is over. Step back.
We had a deal. Ryan gets to attend the funeral.
And you will keep your distance, or he's going back to High Point right now.
What? I have to go back. No, I want to come home. Rodrik, you should speak to Mother. Rodrik, are you going to forget about me? Are you?
We are your family, Ryan. Don't forget that. All right.
I will.
It's like a real world name, but it's spelled
Please
wrong.
hurry.
That makes it fantasy.
How about a story?
No, no. You've had your chance.
He's a child. What harm could it do?
Make it a quick one.
Mother, come join the others.
He's right there. My son. But soon they'll take him from me just like before.
It's part of what makes the book so successful, I think, is most of the characters have names like John,
was once mighty like this
Brandon,
but his loyalty to the Targaryens cost us dearly. I watched
Delahan.
as countless of our kin fell, saw our lands destroyed. Everything we clung to was ripped from our hands. I can't watch.
So far, the
that same
fanfiction
fate
element's
before
not
his
too
family.
bad, Johan.
Our house.
I can see what you mean.
My
Outside of the
children.
Gared storyline.
They will take everything from us.
That must have been hard for you, losing them.
I really like the Forrester storyline. The Ironwrath shit has been really good,
You must be ready to defend us, Rodrik.
as has the Essos
Your
stuff so
body may
far.
be damaged, but your spirit must be like iron. You let nothing stand in your way, do you understand? If you have to murder every
The
last
start of the
white
Gared
hill
stuff
down
was
to the
good, too.
babes in their beds. No matter what, you must do it. Promise me.
I will kill anyone who stands in my way.
Yeah, I think the reason I think this works, Johan, is because it doesn't interfere with the main story terribly much. I think it's actually at its weakest when it involves known series regulars like Jon Snow.
Be strong.
Yes. I suppose we have to
Yeah, you get to Essos and shit gets weird. There's a reason no one remembers Daenerys.
Would you say a few words, my lord?
Kelly C. Stanley. Stannis.
My father. He was everything. Everything I ever wanted to be. He showed me what it is to be a lord.
How's it going?
He was always honourable. I never knew better man.
Game of Thrones game.
Yeah, I saw you were playing and I was like, oh, the one time I can't watch.
Telltale.
I love you, father.
It's pretty good. You might like it.
Is it stressful?
No, it's Telltale.
Hi, Ben.
Telltale's stressful.
It's not Marty, that's Ben.
No, Cammy, that's
It's
Ben.
stressful
Stressful and it gives you a lot of choices. There's not a right answer.
You served this family well.
You can watch Donovan play it.
There you go.
He would have been proud.
Hey, chat. What's going on?
We honor Lord Gregor Forrester. My husband.
Takes place like right after the Red
My
Wedding.
love. And
And
our
it
Lord.
doesn't seem to
Ethan,
impact the main story, which is cool.
My sweet little boy.
Blue flames are because it's ironwood. That is a nice touch.
But now
I don't think that's in the
To say
books.
goodbye.
Hi, Ben.
Father and son are returned to the earth, to the ice. And from their sacrifice, new life begins.
Iron from ice.
Iron from ice.
It's a cool fantasy idea. It's like copper making green flame.
Oh, yes, Surf. The days have been, oh, Johan, I'm sorry. The days have been going pretty quick for me. Pretty excited. How you guys doing? Serp, what's going on?
Might be easier to do with your new work schedule and stuff.
Possibly, yeah.
Wouldn't be so stressed about getting sleep in. We'll see.
I'm gonna miss you guys too. Hopefully I'll be able to pop in chat more and stuff like that.
Still be down the street.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be more because I'm not so tired from work. Like I usually come in and lay straight down and get myself together, and I haven't been able to pop on as much as I like to, just from pure tiredness. We're literally a 7-minute walk, not drive, walk.
Across the street. It would be much
Stone's
closer if you could walk over the fence.
Yeah. Then it'd be like a 4-minute walk.
I've sworn to guard this rest you've earned. I'd bear.
Have you watched any of this one before? I know you watched some Telltale games.
Never a Game of Thrones Telltale. How are they able to get these licenses to these franchises? Who are they?
They got all the original actors.
They're Illuminati. Like how? Like Batman and it's always the big stuff like Minecraft, Batman. They don't do simple stuff.
Yeah, I was not. They got Lena Headey, Cersei. They got Peter Dinklage. They got everybody.
Why do they care who Telltale is?
That's a really good question.
It's a question that needs to be asked.
This is a cool sequence. I think this is the end of the episode. Was Wolf Among Us an original story? Before this, I've only done Walking Dead.
That's stressful. You're not gonna tell me Walking Dead Telltale's not stressful. I've heard about that.
I did the episode 1. It was pretty. This one is all questions like that. Like one where like this guy is trying to get this woman to marry him, so it's really important that he impress her. And this other dude comes in, and I had to make the choice of. He's like, "You need to kneel and kiss my ring in front of her, otherwise this bad thing's gonna happen." And I'm like,
doing that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It's a good chapter ending. The chapter ending in the first one, I don't think they're gonna top that. It was like the season 1, episode 9 reveal with Ned Stark.
Do something. Lord Whitehill's son has arrived.
Griff Whitehill means to torment us. Nothing worse than a fourthborn with something to prove.
This guy with the fucked up face died in the first episode, and in the second episode he gets dragged into town on a corpse cart, and he's still kind of alive. It's kind of cool. It's a neat twist.
You'll be taking your vows. You too, Tuttle. Time to start proving you're a brother.
It was resurrection with a consequence, right? Like, you didn't just come back for free. Now he's all fucked up.
Sometimes if
like
it's
Bran's legs being broken.
Sacrifices. Enjoy the wedding.
How much further to Marine?
A few days.
If the Lost Legion doesn't catch up to us first.
I overheard a couple of men whispering about the Lannister guard. They're questioning.
I'm ready.
Is there anything else we need to be worried about? What was that?
All right. You and 76% of players didn't forge Marjorie's. People really like Marjorie. Holy shit. Very few players kissed his ring. I did kiss the ring.
You kissed the ring?
I did.
Why'd you do that? No. I want you to take a second to tell me why you did that.
It felt like it was a very low consequence. Who cares? It doesn't really matter.
Kiss the ring.
They'll walk, and I'll explain it to her after the fact. Like I had to do it.
So basically, you were like, "There's very clearly real consequences if I don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna hurt anybody if I kiss the ring.
It's not
gonna make him happy. I don't really care. I'll just do it.
Right. That was.
I'm not judging you. I just wanted to know. I just needed to know that was your reasoning.
Most players stood up for Cotter after he stole Finn's knife. No kidding. Wow. So much for the hipster playthrough. My first one, I was intentionally trying to pick the one that I thought was going to be unpopular, just to show a different playthrough, and I fucked it up. Other than kissing the ring.
Look at you, Mr. Popular over here. Mr. Everybody.
Whoops.
Mr. Drake in my iPod.
So we only have about 8 minutes left. I think it'll probably be good the way these are structured episodically to wrap here and pick up from episode 3 next time. So we'll call it a little bit early. Andrew and I are about to head out for trivia tonight.
Mainstream Marstead is your new name.
That's it. I hope you, man, I'm kind of pumped if you can pop on more now that you don't have a ridiculous, because you're usually asleep. Like I would come upstairs after stream and knock on the door and be like,
wait, Jesus,
like,
what?
Oh shit, I'm sorry, man. Human normal work schedule.
Normal work schedule. Not working on holidays. Real respect from my peers.
Yeah, well, you're like
not cringing when I tell people what I do.
We can.
I'm excited.